previously seen on the 13-game Mario Kart Championship Part 1. January 20th marked the start of a never-before-attempted championship-style competition where my 3 friends and I, with the help of others, play every game in the Mario Kart franchise, all 13 of them over the course of many days, all with the goal of determining who is the best overall Mario Kart racer. Now, of course, with this style competition, several rules needed to be established in order to make playing all the games feasible, cohesive, and fair. I won't go back over the rules, but just know for each game there was one warm-up race, then one Grand Prix was played, normally through split screen, normally with everyone on the same character, all going off of this point system which assigned numbers to positions, which were then added up to determine the winner. Also, after each game, post-game interviews were conducted to gather everyone's current thoughts. In part 1, we covered day 1, where we only got through the first 5 games, and today we will cover day 2, where we get through 5 more. To catch you up, here's quick recaps of the first 5. Spoilers ahead. Game number 1 had us on an emulated 4-player version of Super Mario Kart. While not as old as the original, it was still quite clunky. The most notable moment occurred during the 3rd race, on the final lap, where several shells were thrown at the same time, leading to mass confusion and low placements. The game finished with rough positions from everyone and a 3-way tie between Rogan, Hudson, and I. Game number 2 on the N64 was a title we were more familiar with, especially Hudson, who was known to dominate on it, and boy did he, snagging 4 firsts. The most notable moment occurred on race 1, where Hudson used a lightning just at the right time, causing Rogan, Tanner, and I to miss a jump and repeat a large portion of the map. Game 3 had the group on Game Boys except for me, who for recording reasons played on a GameCube Game Boy player. The 4 races found the group dealing with weird mechanics, weird map design, and an annoying coin system. The most notable moment occurred on the 2nd race, where after Tanner finished, he slammed his Game Boy down, causing a cable disconnect, which nearly caused a race redo. The scores ended with Rogue doing the best and me doing by far the worst. Game 4 on the GameCube was another title we had a lot of experience on, which led to several photo finishes. The races were quite hectic because of the game's unique special items. The most notable moment occurred on the 3rd race on Baby Park, where by mistake we had the settings set to 3 laps instead of the traditional 7, leading to a very short and controversial race. The scores came out to Tanner doing the best, but not by much, with everyone performing so-so. And finally, game number 5 had us on an emulated version of the first Arcade GP title. The emulator didn't allow for multiplayer, so we instead had each player complete their own Grand Prix, which were then timed and then compared to one another to determine positions. When combining the extreme map repetition, the 4 warm-up races, the fact you have to get first place on the first 3 races in order to move on the hardest cup, and tons of weird items, including the bonking basin, we ended up playing 30 races just on that game, 12 of which were mine, which led to Hudson needing to take over. The scores came out to Tanner performing best overall. Lastly, all you need to know about each person involved is Rogan is known for his silent, skillful, but slimy gameplay. Tanner is known for taking L's, bragging about his Wii skill, and having several nicknames because of it. Hudson's known for his cocky attitude, being best at older games, and having several practice allegations. I'm known for loud, trash talk-filled, not-so-great gameplay. Lukas, the number keeper, is known for his Hudson bias and simultaneously being good and bad at keeping score. And Julian, the cameraman, is known for his short fuse and his support wavering from player to player. At the end of day 1, scores had Hudson in first with 237, Rogan in second with 219, Tanner in a close third with 214, and me in a rather distant fourth with 192. With all that said, time to pick back up where we left off. After the absolute roller coaster that was day 1 of the championship, we all went home, reflected on our wins and losses, and mentally prepared for the next games. Then, 9 days later, we reconvened to continue where we left off. Right away, some pre-game interviews were conducted. The first question asked was about everyone's thoughts on the first day's standings. By surprise, you were first place. What are your thoughts?
What do you mean by surprise?
You knew you were going to get first? You surprisingly placed second place. Do you think that's where you belong?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty happy with second. The first day was definitely my weaker games, so hopefully we can come back and get first place today.
You placed 3rd place on day 1. What are your thoughts?
Kind of expecting it, you feel me? You are in dead last.
Any comments on that? Phrasing dead last? Not that far behind. What do you attribute your success to?
Probably mostly just N64 wins, honestly.
Hudson first place, Rogan second, Tanner third, Jeffrey fourth.
As I predicted, some people might say that my words have the most weight in this room. I don't think that would be too far of a stretch.
Do you think it turned out the way you thought?
Yeah, but I like that it's so close. I think there's so many games left, so anybody can take it.
But it is accurate, though. You would agree that you find yourself in the last position in terms of ranking and points earned.
Many have thrown accusations towards the number keeper, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
During the days in between filming, scores were added together for the first 5 games, and some numbers appeared to be off. The scores were of course fixed, but that didn't stop rumors spreading regarding Lukas and his questionable scorekeeping.
There's accusations you fudged the numbers. What are your thoughts?
Completely baseless. Looking over the footage, just not true. That's the big lie.
Many have been looking at Jeffrey's scoring and saying, no way he's in 4th. They're pointing fingers at you.
Well, those people should face the facts. Face the facts and the logic of the situation. It's not a distant 4th. It's a realistic 4th, and that's what was earned.
There's rumors that the scorekeeper fudged the numbers because Jeffrey in 4th place is preposterous. Do you believe the allegations?
I don't. I'll testify too.
The group was then asked their thoughts going into day 2.
What's your confidence level going into today?
Moderate to high.
I thought the first day I was gonna do well. Today, I don't know though. I think today might be another story.
Yeah, I'm aiming for around 2nd. I'll let someone have the W because it look weird. Or if I win in my own video, so I'll let someone have the win. I have my pick for who I want, but all I gotta say, it's not Hudson. I'll say that. Are you gonna be a little more bombastic, Dayton?
No. I think Rogan, honestly, is probably the best at the games that we have lined up that we've played already. I don't know about, the arcade cabinet ones, because obviously, who knows who the playing those. But I think Rogan probably has the best chance of getting the most first places today.
While on the topic, the group was asked if they were looking forward to the 2 more potentially exhausting arcade titles.
I'm really not excited for those at all. They're just draining and very slow to get through.
GP2, probably not, because it's copy and paste of the first game.
It's gonna take a long time. Not too excited for it.
Like the GPs or whatever, the arcade cabinet ones, those just suck and I don't want to play them. So, not looking forward to that.
When discussing the soon approaching title on the Wii, thoughts were mixed.
What games are you thinking you're gonna perform the best on?
Mario Kart Wii.
I think Jeffrey's scared from Mario Kart Wii.
Mario Kart Wii, I'm gonna get in the ass on, I already know. I'm gonna get 12th place and it's gonna send me all the way down on the rankings.
Wii, very high chance that I'll place high, if not first. There's a toss-up then who is thought to be the winner on Wii. Some say Rogan, some say Tanner, some say Jeffrey. What are your thoughts?
Nobody says Jeffrey, but I will entertain the Rogan and Tanner debate. We seem to go back and forth.
With Tanner's nonstop overconfidence with the soon-to-come Mario Kart Wii, questions were then asked about his several nicknames.
Why do they call you Tanner One Trick Pony?
I'm not answering that.
Do you want to explain how many L's your middle name has?
No, I don't.
Could you spell it out for us?
Stop with these dumbass questions.
With the crowd not knowing how many titles we'd end up getting through day 2, they were asked their thoughts on all the future games.
Most excited for 7, 8, pretty much all the main series console games. I don't know, I think there's just a lot of ones too where I have no idea who's gonna win. Like Home Circuit and 8, and I don't know, it could be literally anybody.
3DS, no experience. Mario Kart 8, very dicey, probably my worst game. The iOS one, probably gonna not do so great. I don't know, some potential firsts and some potential lasts, honestly.
Thoughts were then shared regarding the next up title on the DS.
I've got a feeling about DS today.
I think I'll do pretty good. I haven't played it in quite a long time. I'd like to get the hang of it again and hopefully get first place.
DS, high chance of winning. Very experienced. I feel like with most games, very slept on with the skill level. I probably have some of the most hours logged in Mario Kart DS.
Do you think those hours of experience are going to come through in the rankings today?
Oh yeah, I was good when I was a kid and I'm even better now.
Honestly, people might be sleeping on Jeffrey on this one.
That's what I like to hear. It's rare I get praise in this bathroom.
When asked a few more questions, out of nowhere, Tanner dropped this bomb.
There was a strict no practicing rule, and the guys don't know this, but I put in 63 hours since the last game, so I'm feeling good about that.
What the f***? What games were you practicing?
DS, strictly.
How do you think you'll perform on that?
I have no idea, but considering I just spent 4 days grinding straight, no class, I'll be fine.
Do you think this goes against the rules? Do you think it should be dealt with? Potential docked points?
No, I think the trash talk was going to be better later because of it. So I'll act like I didn't hear that.
I've heard conflicting reports about this so-called out-of-bounds practice. I don't know, you know, I'm an impartial official, so I want a clean race, clean series of races, and it's kind of concerning.
Tanner wasn't the only one, with Rogan as well addressing practice rumors.
There's accusations of you practicing on Mario Kart Switch. You want to address that?
Yeah, I went to my parents' house yesterday and we played a little bit of Mario Kart 8. I showed my parents how to play and it was fun. We were playing 100cc though, not 150, not technically practicing.
Well, that's bullshit, but...
Lastly, before we got started, the group was asked about just their thoughts on the other players.
Rogan's a piece of shit. You know what? I think Rogan can be cocky if he wants, and we'll see how that plays out for him. You know, I'm sitting over here. I'm torch in the air, baby. I'm coming up. He's gonna be out of gas. I'm gonna cruise past him, bro.
Yeah, I think Tanner's a good player. Jeffrey is an anti-threat, so I'm not worried about him. But Tanner, yeah.
Do you fear Tanner as a person?
No.
It was then time to resume the championship with game number 6. With this being the second handheld title, it was time to set back up on the table and position the cameras above each player. This time, Lukas thought no lights would help visibility, but as per normal, we didn't stick with his idea. Instead of having me on a DS Lite like the others, I was off screen on my PC playing on a modded 3DS, which allows for original DS games to be played as well, purely in order to capture some gameplay. Similar to the GBA Super Circuit, in order to access all content and not all have to play as the same character, 4 cartridges were needed. So once we tracked down enough copies, we then competed in possibly the most notable series of races in the championship yet. Something unique about Mario Kart DS is how with each cartridge, the player name and info is stored on it. That meant we all had usernames while we raced, but not necessarily correct ones. Rogan went by Rogue, Hudson, and then Tanner as Julian.
Oh my god, I almost hit Julian with a bomb right there. I forgot his name is Julian in the game.
I'm undercover.
And me, well, call me NM14109. Mario Kart DS is a game loved by all of us, especially me, who thinks it might just be the tightest controls for any Mario Kart title, up there with Double Dash. Though we haven't played too much of this game with each other, we all own the game as kids, so everyone came in already quite experienced. There's just so much to love here. The new characters, with Dry Bones, Waluigi, and even Rob the NES robot. You also have maybe the craziest looking karts in the series that range in stats, with some being debatably overpowered. Knowing this, Lukas had another idea on how to address the problem.
So I think standardize as close as we can get to fair within the confines of these games, which are kind of dictated by random bullshit anyway. We should strive for that, and I think there's some carts in DS that fall outside of those lines. So I think standard car for everybody with their character is probably the way to go.
Another weird quality in this game related to the karts is depending on the vehicle chosen, your item luck will vary. This is the only title with that strange mechanic. When discussing items, you have to mention the 2 new ones present here, the inking blooper and the godsend bullet bill. Also, the items have a spritey kind of charm to them.
PNG passes me.
Except for the fake item boxes here, which are the most realistic in the series.
The fake ones are so convincing in this game.
I know, I was just about to say that. I'm falling for him harder than ever.
Then there's my favorite aspect of the game, the second screen minimap, which shows a unique top-down view, including active items. That screen also has a constantly shifting list of player positions, which also shows who has what item. There's so many other features to love about this Mario Kart title, but the point is, great game, one we were very happy to play. Once cameras started rolling, the warm-up map was chosen. Tick-Tock Clock is where it took place, picked because of the group's love for it, except for Julian.
Do TikTok block.
Yeah, do TikTok block.
That is the worst.
Haven't played this one in a while.
I hate
No,
that,
it's
man.
been a minute.
Right away, I could tell that playing on the 3DS over a DS Lite was gonna put me at a disadvantage. This isn't me blaming it. It's definitely no Super Circuit situation, just saying with the 3DS's slightly different D-pad location, an asterisk needs to be put on my score. Again, just saying. Anyway, getting into the race, I was glad it was just the warm-up because I was not feeling my ride. That Rogan forced me to stick with with.
This cart is ass, bro. Oh, I gotta go back. How do I go back?
Did you not just press B?
Yeah, that's probably better
can't.
for
It
me.
won't
If
let
that's
me
okay
go
for
back. Yeah, I can go back. I don't want this cart. It's just gonna go and then go back.
I can't.
Then, after Lukas offered another ignored idea,
Is there a way to easily customize the names? That would probably add some production value. Yeah, true.
Hudson then barely dodged Tanner's blue shell explosion.
Did you not get hit?
Which I followed up with this move.
Wait, you got blue shell pin?
Bitch.
Tanner then dropped this very acute statement.
God, I don't like that clock part. Or this whole bitch is a clock, never mind.
When nearing the finish, Hudson then said what we were all thinking with this DS not being as easy to hold on to as it was back in the day.
Dude, I can already feel the carpal tunnel setting in, bro.
I know.
I feel the claw grip.
Everyone then finished the race with Rogan first, Hudson second, and me and Tanner with a close third and fourth.
Stretch your wrists out so you don't get carpal tunnel.
Dude, literally.
Okay, that's
Oh my-
warm up. Yeah.
Do some spider push-ups or something.
When picking the GP, the Flower Cup was selected for its inclusion of even more iconic maps. Desert Hills was the first map up, a solid course that's essentially the spiritual successor to the previously played Dry Desert, complete with pokies and this time fireballs added as an additional hazard. After Hudson complained more about the carpal tunnel controls,
Trying to like hold an item while you're driving is so hard. Like my fingers are like.
I went on a bit of a rant myself regarding my item box shanking.
I cannot get a f***ing item, you mofos. Stop taking all the f***ing items. I haven't got an item in like a lap and a half.
Oh.
Then it was time for Hudson to drop his first of many bombs on Tanner.
Dude, the bomb.
L taken by Tanner.
The final lap was a bit crazy. Once I finally hit an item box, I was blessed with a triple red shell, which I successfully used against Hudson. Then Tanner, who was currently in 7th, attempts a ballsy shortcut, hoping to receive a good item, but is instead given a boo, which grabs him this.
A banana in 7th.
Rogan ended with the first, Hudson eventually caught back up and passed me for 2nd, I ended 3rd, and Tanner impressively worked his way up to 4th.
I knew Rogan was gonna do good at this one, bro.
To Hudson second.
There's my heart rate.
I know, I'm like sweating right now.
Jeff third.
Alright, everybody. Do some push-ups.
Yeah, give me that.
Yeah, facts.
After that race, Tanner got on me again for bringing up the 3DS disadvantage.
I'm
Lose the
debating whether to
facts.
commit to this
Yeah.
or this is jank.
You don't have to do it on 3DS, bro.
I guess you could do that. You'll know exactly what I'm saying with this D-pad on the Switch. Yeah.
Stop using it then, bro.
Just use the circle thing.
I'm unfamiliar with it, bro.
Race 2 took place on the crowd favorite Delfino Square. Right away, Hudson was a tad salty with my heavy Bowser bonking body.
Oh my god, you, Bowser.
That's a big head, baby.
Soon after, Rogan attempted his classic drive and drop.
Nice try, game. That was some slime shit.
Then immediately following that was one of the craziest item interactions yet. Tanner, who was currently in 3rd, attempted to red shell me, who was currently in 2nd, where I was trying to red shell Rogue, but this time his drive and drop tactic worked, causing me to spin out before I released the shell. Tanner was first to release his red shell, shortly followed by mine, but his shell ended up skipping me for Rogue, and mine ended up skipping Rogue for Tanner, which all ended up leading to Hudson passing all of us. Then, after Rogue shoved a green down my throat,
You're a bitch!
when nearing the same bridge spot on the next lap, another weird exchange happened, with me attempting to red shell Hudson, but after Rogan decided to barrel stuff him as well with a green, the shell switched paths to Rogan instead.
Ooh, someone shot.
No, f you, Rogan. Oh, I didn't realize you got a. Oh, you're about to get red shelled though.
How did that hit Rogan, not you, bro?
Because I got hit by Rogan, I
Alright.
think.
Then, when nearing the same fountain I first bumped Hudson at, my character choice paid off again.
Jeffrey, custom havoc.
Let's go!
Okay, Jeffrey, f you for that
Heavy
one.
perks.
Shortly after, Hudson dropped bomb number 2 on a salty Tanner.
Sorry, Hudson.
You slimy ass.
Hudson, how many times are you gonna hit me with a bomb? It's been every game.
Sorry.
When nearing the finish, Rogue tried to slime me again, but
Rogue, I bought Matrix dodge that
joint. That's the third time Rogue's tried to slime you with an item.
With Rogan and I having 3 bananas each, we littered the track with them before the finish, which ended with Rogue first, me second, Hudson in a slippery third, and Tanner fourth, only because Mario slipped on our bananas as well.
You shit Mario and die.
Thank God.
Mario was
pretty
Choke
close.
City at the end there.
So close.
With that being one of the most tense races yet, we were feeling the burn.
The
This
end
is
there.
so close.
Some of the sweatiest I've been on.
You fourth or fifth?
I know, my heart is racing.
So close. Day two's got that extra
I need tubes right
weight
now.
to it.
Yeah, shit's getting real.
The next race in the cup was Waluigi Pinball. Yet again, another banger of a track.
This is the best map.
This is
This is my
This is
favorite
the best
map.
one in this.
Oh, dude, little frame drop. Lag.
There's always like weird lag when you put DS.
Everybody turn off Bluetooth on your phone to see interference.
Is that real?
Airplane mode.
I don't think so.
Though a great map, getting through the final portion in the pinball arena is the definition of pure luck required, and let's just say I wasn't so lucky.
Jesus Christ! You hit that at the 10-minute cutscene.
With Tanner currently in first place, he had a blue shell coming his way, but was conveniently near the teleporter, causing this to happen.
Let's go!
I was unsure if anything would
Yeah,
happen.
I love how it just flew away.
Again, when discussing the course, Tanner had an interesting observation.
The pinballs make it so real.
I know,
need
they
to
add a
off.
whole nother level of stress.
Of immersion.
I feel like I'm really playing ping pong.
Soon after that strange take, somehow, even though he had 3 bananas, he got hit with a red shell, which almost never happens. Back several positions was me, struggling with the controls, and according to Lukas,
Jeff is tasting rails right now.
Oh my god, dude, my gameplay went. No!
when checking back on Rogan, he apparently forgot how the second screen worked.
Dude, Rogue has a mushroom right now.
Screen peeking?
It says on the bottom.
I again was battling the rails.
Oh my god, this gameplay is dog shit. Holy shit, I'm playing terribly.
When nearing the finish, if DS didn't already produce enough crazy moments, Tanner, who was in first place, entered the pinball arena, just to be hit by a pinball, allowing Hudson to pass. But that ended up being in Tanner's favor, because a blue shell that was aimed at Tanner then switched targets to the new first place.
Tanner, if you get pushed. Oh! No, I hit a thing.
Oh, what do I hear? What do I
Oh
hear?
my god, I was. No! No! Oh my god, and I'm about to get. No, Luigi, why you hit me with a red shell?
That crazy finish ended with Tanner first, Rogan second, Hudson third, leaving me the only one left, and I wanted that fourth.
Actually, that's better than Hudson, I guess.
Oh my god, bro. Dude, I was playing for my.
I needed that.
You
got fourth? Jeff got fourth? I thought he was going to do
I was
something.
getting GP flashbacks from Jeff. He was just eating rails over and over.
The only map left was Shroom Bridge, an underrated course that is a good deal of fun. In the beginning, I decided to implement a stupid idea I had earlier.
Let me crank the volume on this thing before you get us off.
It's gonna be I need to reel it in. Jeff, cool it.
The race started with me and Tanner agreeing that the moving cubes aren't worth the risk.
Dude, those look like fakes.
I know, I'm not touching them, bro.
The first lap ended with Tanner, Rogue, and I incredibly close. Hudson was in the back, still struggling with his hands.
Luigi.
The carpet's almost stuck.
Then, while we were just discussing our love for the map, Rogue pulled off this slime move.
This might be the best map. These turns are insane.
I know, this is one of my favorites.
That was...
That's a classic road. Barrel stuff you with an item.
Then he immediately continues his annoying antics with this blue shell shit show.
I knew Rogue was on some slime shit, so I'm slowing down.
The end of lap 2 had me on the furthest edge of the course, which gave me a good vantage point to watch Rogue crash and burn. Hudson then attempted bomb drop number 3 on Tanner, but this happened.
Sorry, Tanner. No! That didn't hit you.
Dude, I swear he saves them for me.
During most of lap 3, I had a solid lead, until the end where I was distracted by Rogue, who shortcutted his way past me, enough to where this happened.
Rogan, you son of a slimy cunt! I swear. No! What?
I was flabbergasted, befuddled to the point where I couldn't recall what happened mere seconds prior.
Dude, I got hit with a f***ing shell backwards, or a banana, and then I dropped my bomb that I had, and I killed myself with the f***ing bomb.
You want to explain the last couple seconds of the fourth match?
Yeah, you choked and hit a bus, and then blew yourself up with a bomb, and then I passed you.
Don't think I hit a bus.
A semi-truck maybe, a Mack truck, I don't know. Maybe it's like a Subaru. I have no idea, dude. But I saw that you were on your ass, okay?
You were doing a lot of screaming back there. What was that about?
Like I said, item cuckery, especially on the fourth. I got hit with my own item. Like, that's a game glitch, if you ask me.
With that race over with, it's time to look at the scoreboard. Here are all the positions for Mario Kart DS. As you can see, everyone did so-so except for Rogan, who snagged 3 firsts out of the 4 races, which led to him being now only 3 points behind Hudson. Then Tanner, with his 19 points below Rogue, remains in 3rd, and me, with my embarrassing 27 points below him, is stuck in a fat 4th. After the group shared love for the title and hate for one another, it was time to mosey on down the hallway to discuss what just happened. Everyone was first asked their thoughts on the performances.
As we just finished Mario Kart DS, the trend continues where you're doing worse
Shut
and
the
worse.
I don't even want to hear what you have to say, Jeffrey, honestly. I'm tired of your shit, Jeffrey. You. No, I did a lot worse in DS than I thought I was gonna. I thought I would do like, okay, but those games were pretty close though. A couple of them I was in first for like a decent amount of time, and then I just got kind of hit at the end with blue shells, so I don't know, I'm not that disappointed with it, you know. I did okay. I didn't have any 4ths, I think, so I'll take that.
Not great. 2 early L's.
What were your places?
4th, 2nd, 1st.
With Rogan increasingly doing better and you increasingly doing worse, do you think that's going to destroy this close gap you guys had?
Yeah, it's bad.
Started off okay. I think the trend with a lot of these games is very good driving, near flawless at times, but the items, the RNG just f***ed my ass time and time again. But pretty mediocre overall. I don't want to point fingers at the equipment again, but when it comes to recording, I got to take some L's in terms of controls. That's all I'm going to say.
How so?
Playing on a 3DS and an older game, hard.
Oh, good. Yeah, 3 firsts and a second. Pretty happy with that.
Mario Kart DS compared to the other games, you like it, dislike it?
I like it a lot. I think I just want to keep playing after we finished.
Even with the poor scores, you liked it?
Yeah, I was heating up towards the end. Just had a good feel for it, you know.
Do you consider anything other than 4th heating up?
What?
On the last race, Mario Kart DS, you decided to turn your volume up. What was the thought process there?
Diversionary tactic. Audio attack. I'm thinking you hear me drift, you hear me use items, it might throw you off, might get me a couple places. Didn't really work, but the thought was there. It was not on accident. Were you surprised at anyone's performance?
Maybe the lack of for some players, but
You want to elaborate on that?
no.
With Rogan performing well yet again, his name was mentioned several times.
Rogan went from not doing so well to kind of on the come up right now.
I know, dude. Rogue, that's why I said earlier, Rogue's like the biggest threat for this second half. Because I know he's gonna do well at Wii, and he already just like destroyed on DS. But I don't know about the other ones. We'll see. But those are gonna be like big leads for him, I think.
What's with the Rogan dick sucking? Is there something going on behind the scenes?
It just tastes good, bro. Like, what do you want from me, dude?
We saw yet another success of Rogan's. Do you think this trend will continue?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm surprised things have happened, so I don't know. It's still tight, just did some quick math and not a lot separating the players at this point.
Rogan's been keeping the commentary to a minimum out on the playing field. Do you think there's something going on behind the scenes?
I just think that Mario Kart being, you know, the title that it is, takes a lot out of you, and maybe some other players have some notes to take on less shit talk and more focusing on your own game, and maybe it'll show in the results. I don't know.
A lot of ambiguous claims again thrown around. You want to put some names?
I'm an unbiased spectator. I have nothing to say about anybody, except for Jeffrey.
Rogue went from silent gamer with mediocre gameplay to kind of on the rise. Do you think this trend will continue? During most games, you keep it pretty quiet out there. Are you plotting something in the background?
No, I'm just focusing.
Do you have any vendettas against players? Because they've got some not so kind words for you.
No, not really.
Not gonna name names, but there's a guy who used to be good and now he's not so good. He says you're the most underwhelming player.
Underwhelming? How?
He says you think because you have a couple good games that you're gonna do well, but the trend will continue. This is his words, not mine.
Who would that player be?
Hudson Brown.
With Rogan's first place takeover inevitable, Hudson and his soon-to-come dethroning was asked about as well.
Elaborate on Hudson's alleged targeting.
There's no elaboration. He's coming after me with these bob-ombs. He holds them, waits until he gets in front of me, because he knows that when it comes time for the Wii, he's gonna be in the dust.
It's strange Hudson's targeting you because he's on record saying you're not a threat. Do you think that was a lie? He's actually afraid?
That's exactly what it is.
Hudson has proven again and again that his heyday is over. It's almost depressing to a point. Do you think this trend of continual last places will continue?
Maybe for a little bit, but I've seen Hudson get out of slumps before, so I think once Mario Kart 8 hits, it's gonna be first.
Hudson is mad that his glory days are over and that if the game was pre-2000, he's not any good at it. Do you think as the games get newer, he's gonna continue to get worse?
Hudson is good at 8, and I think that he'll do pretty good on that one. I'm not sure about the other ones though. No hard feelings, no vendettas.
Is Hudson even a threat anymore? He seemed to do pretty well, but it's been pretty rough the last couple of games.
Hudson's winning right now.
With GP2 up next, the players were asked their thoughts.
I think it'll go quicker than the first one now that we understand it, but it's a near copy and paste of the first game, so I'm not too excited to be honest. Next game is Mario Kart GP2. From a spectator's perspective, are you excited?
No, but I don't know. They get kind of exciting with the time trials. Maybe I shouldn't say I'm not excited. I was pleasantly surprised at how entertaining it was once we got down to, people going within 1 second of each other in the lap times. Plus, this is being GP2, if it plays the same as last one. Maybe the competition will be tighter. People have experience with GP now.
Mario Kart GP2 is up next. Are you excited?
No.
Do you think you stand a chance of getting some firsts?
Maybe. I don't know. These games are the worst. The GP ones are just so bad.
Before we wrapped up, Julian started going at everyone's throats.
You alongside Lukas are a spectator during this tournament. Have you seen any fishy number tampering with?
Yeah, he was fumbling around on his calculator for too long right before this interview session, so I'm not sure if there's a problem or there could be some collusion.
We're about to enter into Mario Kart GP2, and on the first one, in order to determine first, second, third, fourth, we had Lukas record on his phone. Did anyone ever see those recordings?
Nope, I haven't seen him. Have you seen him?
No. Do you think there's potential issues going purely off of Lukas's word for this entire tournament?
Yes. Can't trust the guy.
You're on record saying you got money on Tanner winning the tournament.
A lot of money.
He's on record saying, for a camera person, you're pretty garbage. What do you have to say to that? He says you're not getting his angles right.
He's not getting his Mario Kart right, isn't he? Third?
A lot of people are rooting for Jeffrey in the next couple games. Are you one of them?
Is that a joke? Yes, I'm rooting for Jeffrey in the next map and no further.
And Rogue, he just went too far.
Who do you hate in real life unrelated to Mario Kart?
Jeffrey David Pullman Beshik.
With DS completed, it was time to get back on the couch for the championship's second arcade slugfest. Up next was a title not one person was looking forward to. With this being another game exclusive to arcade cabinets that I do not own, it was time to pull the Dolphin emulator back up and complete hopefully no more than 20 races. To quickly catch you back up on how we integrated these arcade games into the championship, we each played an emulated Grand Prix on the same cup, then compared times for each of the 4 races, then rewarded positions according to the shortest times. And before each Grand Prix, each player had a warm-up race on a different course with a different character as well. So when added together, that's where the 20 races comes from. The reason I say hopefully no more than that is because on the previous arcade game, GP1, that number was greatly exceeded. The reason behind the unknown number of race attempts is because not only do we want a good time, but again, similar to GP1, a first place is required to move on to the next race. As seen previously, that ends up being the real challenge with these games. Also know that with that first place rule, the 4th race's position doesn't matter, only the time. With that out of the way, you might be wondering how this game differs from its predecessor. The answer is not much. The game is nearly identical in so many ways, except for the addition of 2 new cups, Waluigi and Yoshi, the addition of some new items, all equally as weird as the previous ones, the addition of 1 new oddball character, that being Mamechi from the Tamagotchi series.
Oh my god, you can play as a Tamagotchi?
But by far the biggest addition to this arcade GP is the announcer. The entire time while playing, I'm talking the whole time, the announcer is narrating what's happening on screen at a rapid pace, and boy is it annoying. In case you don't believe me, here's a few of our favorite quotes.
Luigi, fast. Too fast.
It's just inserting all these pre-recorded clips.
Luigi, tires are now squared. Luigi,
It's literally everything. It's necessary. I don't know what's going on.
shoots, boo, bullseye.
Shoots, boo, bullseye.
Boo is hanging on the handle, making the wheel heavy.
Did you hear what it said? Boo is on the back, making the wheels heavy. Boo is on the handles, making the wheels heavy.
Mario is hit by the needle bomb.
Mario is hit by the needle bomb.
Bowser is looking to make a move. Bowser, I can't believe the moves this card has made.
Did you hear what that means? I can't believe the moves this cart has made. I can't believe the cart has made. Could you phrase that more clunky?
Bowser misses. Peach, hot and exciting. What a crazy race!
Crazy race!
If you're wondering who this announcer is, just start up any race and it'll immediately be clear.
This broadcast is brought to you by Justin Berti.
No hate on the guy, he's just doing a job, but you can't help but agree that it's pretty goofy. Other than that, the only other things you need to know is Lukas still had to do that phone strategy for the times because they again disappeared quickly. The map layouts again repeat for every other race. This time we didn't choose the items, instead they shuffled randomly, and this time we reversed the player order from the last GP in order to equal out any potential advantages. And lastly, this time we were able to play at the 150cc speed. And also, basins are back, baby, and Hudson still can't get the damn name right. With all that said, it's time to start up the long series of races, beginning with GP1's last player, Rogan.
First up is the silent but deadly Rogan Pransky with the first Yoshi Cup Grand Prix.
For the warm-up race, Rogan unknowingly selected the same map he warmed up on the previous GP, Mario Cup's Round 1 course, using Pac-Man in a pretty dope kart. Right away, we were all shocked by how much faster 150cc's felt compared to the default speed on the first game.
That's so fast. Holy shit.
After a few laps, the group was already getting tired of the announcer.
No, that's why everyone hates this game.
When at the end of his 9th lap, Rogan finished with a 4th, which of course doesn't matter on the warm-up, but we still took it as a sign of this game's potential increased difficulty.
Do you have to get first?
Probably.
Oh my god.
When it came time to choose the Grand Prix, of course the Bowser Cup wasn't even considered. Instead, we wanted to do the easiest GP exclusive stage, so we chose the Yoshi Cup. This was so we could focus more on the time trial element and less on competing against the bots for first. Rogan then switched to Luigi, but before the first race commenced, we got a taste of some of the crazier karts in the game.
Wait, that's hard as the train.
Whoa, the big train?
That's
When getting into the race, we realized right away how this map's layout was extremely simple, with it essentially being a straight line.
Dude, we need this is so many like straights, there's like 2 turns on this. It's gonna be so boring for like like no opportunities to change. And it's such a big map.
I kind of like that though. You're gonna have to really.
Yeah, I'm sure you like that, bro.
I'm not that good at this game.
Rogue then finished up race 1 with a clean first, way ahead of all the bots. Race 2 started with us realizing the map repetition from the first game was also present here. Even though there's technically 2 course variations in the cup, they're basically the same. Before hitting the gas, we were hit with the first of many introductions.
This broadcast is brought to you by Justin Berti.
He shouted himself out?
Getting into the race, we were introduced to maybe the creepiest Mario Kart item, the mask.
That is horrifying.
With this map also having a simple layout, Rogan had his theory on what will most likely dictate the positions.
Is this just gonna be based like on RNG and items?
Welcome to this tournament.
Shortly after, Rogue was hit by another strange item, the big and small tire.
I mean, it's kind of hard with the small one.
Then later got his hands on this goofy looking item.
It's a monster with yeah.
Rogue then pulled off another needed first place.
Luigi, outstanding run.
They're like, okay, we need you to say Luigi, and he's like, Luigi! And that's good. That's all. Yeah.
Race 3 had us less focused on the race and more focused on the map's strange signage.
Castle of cake.
Castle cake on top. That'd be ass everywhere.
What characters in Mario would have ass?
This broadcast is brought to you by Justin Berti.
If you're into that, Mario.
Mario's probably the thickest thing I've ever met.
When into the race, Lukas appeared to have forgotten the inclusion of the Pac-Man characters.
Is that Knuckles? Oh no, it's
Later in the race, the realization hit me that the most anticipated game was up next.
I'm excited to be just on a normal controller, no emulators, everyone full memories. I guess I'm just on GameCube. That's getting the
When cruising second, Rogan fell victim to the second variant of the menacing masks. Shortly after we brushed off that disturbing disruption, Rogan snagged yet again another first place. We then had a discussion regarding the different map, same layout element of the game.
That might be the exact same course as the first one.
I think it was.
Because Rogan's time was 0.3 of a second off.
It definitely, no, it was. Look at
They're the same. These ones are the same too.
Bro, why?
I think it's just harder bots, probably.
It was the same way on Bowser.
Different lap amounts.
That's dumb.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because the times were the same, Jeff.
Before Rogan jumped into the final race, I gave another take on the cake debate.
Peach could be kind of thick. We don't really know on the dress.
Race 4 started with a salty Lukas.
I just get tired of doing phone shit. It's fine.
We got a lot more to do.
Yeah, you're right. Wow, what are you doing right now? Do you want to do it?
Then, when nearing the end of the first lap, Rogan was hit with another typical GP item.
You got the cat ears! You're a certified bitch!
Then, on lap 2, Rogan ended his clean driving streak with this brutal wall shank.
Whoa!
Yikes on that one.
Which eventually led to him just barely missing the first place. With his times on the board, it was time to switch players.
Next up is Jeffrey Shaky on the Sticks, Holman Beshik with the second Yoshi Cup Grand Prix.
With it now being my turn, I started my warm-up on the other GP2 exclusive stage, the Waluigi Cup, on the round 1 course, using the exclusive Mamechi, who has maybe the wildest kart design in the series. During the race, not only were we laughing at the incredible speed again, but also at the funny noises my character was making.
audio is really good.
And if the GP games didn't hit us with enough weird items already, I was then hit with the saggy gummy. Yeah, that's its real name. After some pretty clean driving, I wrapped up the race with a first, and then prepped for the Grand Prix. When switching to Bowser, we were shocked to see him have a special label.
For advanced players.
Okay.
Oh, damn, wow.
Dude, what? What does that mean? Bro. Deadpan Donkey Kong. Me, I guess.
Race 1 was nothing special besides when I was hit with some rapid-fire items, including the previously seen Monster Mouth, officially named the Interrupting Frame. With this being the 5th Yoshi race, we discovered how a typical race plays out.
They let you have the lead in the last 2 laps. In the first 2, they had last.
The second and last lap, they just don't throw.
Yeah, they let you have the lead.
So I'm gonna keep you coming back to the machine.
Knowing that difficulty cycle made all the other races pretty relaxed. With the finish coming up, I snagged an easy first place. When starting race number 2, we were hit with a little reminder.
This broadcast is brought to you by Justin Berti.
So weird.
It is really bizarre. What other game just announces the announcer's name?
Maybe he's that clout we don't know. Maybe it's the equivalent of it being like commentated by Drake. We just don't know.
While cruising along on yet again another boring Yoshi map, we started to theorize if the colored strips on the road altered your speed or not.
It's going to tell what slows down. The first color strip doesn't, but I think the second does.
The race went smooth overall with almost no item interactions. Before finishing with another first, the announcer exaggerated my very slight mess up.
Bowser crashes into the wall.
Crashes? I don't know about crashes. More like skims.
Yeah, that one.
Race 3 started with our boy Justin setting the record straight.
This broadcast is brought to you by Justin.
Every race. He signed a contract. He's like, yeah, I'll take a quarter of the pay, so let me say my name every time.
He put this on his resume. You already know that's actually you.
Like the first 10 seconds.
The race went as usual until that creepy ass mask made another appearance.
That's menacing. That's scary.
I know, yeah. It's like the all-powerful item that can like kill your whole family in an anime or something.
That face right there is straight out of the game.
The race was looking to be another first, until out of nowhere, Pac-Man nails me with another mask, causing me to end second. With that second, we all knew another try was needed, but then this happened.
We only had a lead for like 2.5 laps and then one item last second. We want you to put some tokens in there. Oh, that's stupid as f***.
God. You have to do all the races again?
Just that one.
I think just that one, yeah.
It says yes on this card. Yes.
Is that a good time though?
209.033.
Why am I back here?
Oh no. Jeffrey.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Wait, you got a what?
It just sent them back to this, so Jeffrey.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm legitimately not down.
Wait a second, no, clear!
Oh, okay, thank you.
Oh my god.
Even though we were sent back to the beginning, luckily our progress was still saved. After that near catastrophe, I started up another attempt. Right away, Donkey Kong pulled off this weird maneuver.
Donkey Kong went straight into the wall.
Shortly after, Lukas mentioned the helping hand Hudson idea that was used on the previous GP,
Oh, we don't need Big Brother Hudson.
but I had it under control. Following that was another unused Lukas idea,
I wonder if you can emulate it at 2 times speed.
That would be so hard to play.
It's already pretty quick.
another rabbit ear,
That item is
and another one of those cursed masks, which Tanner finally debunked its connection to Mario Kart.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Race 3 ended with the needed first, which had the crowd relieved.
This is going faster. I appreciate the pace this GP is going.
The last one was so long.
The first cup was definitely the move.
There was only one race to go, on the Yoshi Round 4 course. The race wasn't too notable, besides a few weird bot behaviors.
I feel back there. Where the Tamagotchi go?
With this being my 5th Yoshi race, it was a walk in the park, with me ending first again, even though it wasn't necessary.
This is going almost too smooth.
Did you choose the chart?
When comparing my times to Rogan, as you can see, 2 first for him and 2 for me, which ain't too shabby. Now, on to the next player.
Next up is Tanner, One Trick Pony Wixie, aka Tanner L. Wixie, with the 3rd Yoshi Cup Grand Prix.
Next up was Tanner, who as well unintentionally chose the same warm-up course as GP1, with it being on Wario Cup's Round 1 course. Again with Miss Pac-Man, who this time had this crazy kart, which might just top Mamechi's for wildest design.
Bro, that's some ugly card.
No, that's fire.
No, that looks like shit.
Dude, that's sick.
Ugly.
That's a beat, bro. Is that some Statue of Liberty torches in there? How is that even food? That's so unrelated.
When a bit into the race, the announcer dropped this gem on us.
Ms. Pac-Man has dropped the sticky oil.
Isn't oil not sticky?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be sticky.
Rumor has it, Miss Pac-Man took that from her coochie and is dropping it on the racetrack.
Tanner was then hit with another GP over-the-top cloud variant, which when compared to the clouds we're familiar with, is hilarious. The race concluded with Tanner taking 3rd, but he had his reasons why.
Just because I had no grip on my cart.
No, that was fire.
When switching to Peach, Tanner this time was liking his vehicle.
That's some page. You got the dripple wheel.
Before he began, he was hoping his Grand Prix would be as smooth as mine.
Unless I pull Jeff and don't get hit.
Yanni! I guess that's a compliment to me. No, sorry.
When a bit into the race, again, I was hit with the reality that Mario Kart Wii, the most anticipated title, was just around the corner.
Bro, I gotta get the mental state for real. That's like T-minus 15 to 20 minutes until the corner.
That's gonna be weird going from this to that.
Going for that one,
I found out
different.
for
As Tanner continued through the laps, we realized that the kart that he likes so much might be a bit slower than the previous ones we've seen.
Give me that positive feedback.
Tanner then finished up the race with the needed 1st place. When starting the race, the announcer threw a little shade Tanner's way.
Careful start.
That's like pretty passive aggressive.
While performing well, Tanner started a little argument with me regarding whether these times were more influenced by items or by minute driving differences.
But I kind of like the idea of a super clean map, so it comes down to only driving, only drift. I guess.
Yeah, it's always items. The map has nothing to do with driving. If anything, a harder map is going to be better for better drivers.
Were you saying depending on the map, that doesn't matter what the driving?
No, Jeff. I'm saying harder maps will more better drivers. If there's no benefit.
I guess you could say that. I don't know, there's a lot of factors.
After Tanner finished with another first, I was feeling myself after it was revealed my times were still holding out.
Round's gonna be like 1, 1, 1.
Race 3 had us again, questioning why the announcer's name is said before each race.
This broadcast is brought to you by Justin Berti.
How many jobs do you think this guy got just based off announcing his name?
None, zero.
People go to the arcade and they're like, let me write that down. He was a great announcer. Let me hire him.
Instead of focusing on Tanner's racing, we were discussing the game plan for the highly anticipated upcoming title on the Wii.
Bro, I was thinking, what cup do we do for Wii?
Oh my god. I don't know. It's a hard one.
No. I'm gonna do one like modern. Not the easiest one, not the hardest.
Lap 3 had us again debating the color strip conundrum, even though we honestly had no clue.
Dude, does the outside color slow you down or not?
A second strip slows you down, the first one doesn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
The second strip does?
I'm pretty damn sure. I don't know. I think.
That can be cut in these corners.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the second one slows you down.
The end had Tanner with again another first, but all he cared about was the time, which wasn't too hot.
Could be second or third. Probably third.
I like that.
But it's by like a quarter of a second.
Yeah,
most likely last.
9792 third by 0.7. I think that you got
Character, dude.
Dude, I know. I'm not even doing anything bad.
You should make those for advanced players characters, bro. Should choose Donkey Kong.
Oh, Jeff, you make him the last rule.
Race 4 started off with Tanner, for a fifth time, failing to do the boost.
How do you get the boost? Wait, so how do you get the boost, Rogan? Tell me now.
That's the normal. In between 2 and 1.
Must have been 2.
Peach.
Bruh. Dude, the boost is not. It doesn't exist.
This race had us outermost bored. Again, we still were on about those damn colored strips.
I don't know if that strip's slowing down.
I don't think it does.
Test it.
It doesn't slow you down, you guys are just so mad.
While Tanner was performing alright, I started spitballing new nickname ideas.
Banksy. That's what I call him, Tanner Banksy.
When finishing the race, Tanner hopped his way into a dicey fourth. When asking about the time, Lukas dropped another bomb on him.
That's only a third. Oh, no.
Dude, this
Yeah, these suck.
That's getting brought up in there.
I'm not going to the next interview.
When comparing his time to Rogan's, he grabbed mostly thirds, with 1 second snagged from Rogan. My scores remain the same, 2 firsts, 2 seconds. Now it's time for the final player.
And finally is Hudson, past his prime Brown, with the 4th and final Yoshi Cup Grand Prix.
Before Hudson started his warm-up, Tanner needed to rant.
Rogan in first, Jeffrey in second, Tanner in third.
Can we play a real game?
Can we actually race each other?
From here on out,
Yeah, second and fourth.
It's up to you.
Bro, you need to drink about 16 Modelo's before you
it
play.
hurts taking an L in this game because it feels so out of your control. You're up on a new.
Especially with this dumbass map. Like, it's all about your cart. There's no turns to hit. God, that was wild.
When selecting the map, Hudson followed the trend and unintentionally chose the same warm-up race he chose for GP1, which took place again on Pac-Man Cup's Round 1 course, this time playing as Blinky with this sick-looking whip. At this point in the game, we finally decided the 2 most important factors for a good time.
It all comes down to Hudson's cart and how aggressive his bots are.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
With us being on this game for now over an hour, the conversations got weird.
My nipples have never been an issue in my 22 years of life, but the past month of my life, I'm like...
I then decided to chime in one more time on the character thick pick.
Blinky can be kind of thick. You don't know what's going on with that pick.
Nothing. It's a ghost.
Whoa.
Don't treat me like the crazy one. You're trying to argue that ghosts had ass.
Whoever died could have been thick and that's just draping over that.
I think we have different ideas about the mechanics of ghosts.
Hudson then wrapped up the race with a third, leaving me as the only player to get the warm-up first. When selecting the Yoshi Cup, the crowd was building hype around Hudson's performance because of him doing the best on the first GP.
Lethal Brown time. Lethal Brown. He's been able to study 4 racers worth of footage.
I've seen Hudson.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, he's taking notes and like, he has a spreadsheet on his iPad.
I played this game for 300 hours before I came like.
Right before the race began, Julian cracked.
This is such a waste of time.
Getting
all this footage, like,
I know.
it's so long compared to
The other ones.
Here we are.
boring.
We're doing okay.
No, we're not. We haven't even completed 2.
This is the longest one by far.
3 and 7 are gonna be fast.
GX is gonna be just as long as
Yeah, but
this.
we have another one of these.
Lap 1 had Hudson dealing with another one of those overstimulating, interrupting frames. It didn't affect too much because he pulled through with a clean first. Lukas then announced times and Tanner again wasn't happy.
Second place.
Who's in race, brother?
Rogan.
Damn, we're gonna clean lap. Tanner, I assume 4th? Yeah, it has to be. Tanner, 4th kills.
I know.
The leaderboard.
Man, I wish we could actually race.
Yeah, still it would be the same thing.
Well, would it?
Well, the bot RNG would be different, but the cart would still be slow.
People be using items against each other and stuff.
And just seeing you in front of me fuels me, Jeff. Like, I get put in a new mode, but I'm
Seeing
racing
you in
against
front of
fucking
me,
Blanky.
that's right. You got that right. You see me.
What?
Here we are. I never see you, but you see me.
When looking at everyone's race 1 times, as you can see, Hudson passed me for second, leaving Rogan with first and Tanner, as you heard, with a 4th. Race 2 had us immediately back on the Mario Kart Wii argument.
We got Wii to go.
You suck at Wii, Jeff. Dude, you know who?
You're in for a surprise, bitch.
Dude, 2 bots podiumed over you last time we played. Do you want to talk about that?
What is this, bro? Black
Do you want to talk about that or no? It's cool if you don't want to, I get it.
Where's the
I took a picture of it.
I never seen it.
And then you get mad when people take
One of you guys want for me.
After that simmered, we were again hit with our favorite announcer line.
Boo is hanging on the handle, making the wheel heavy.
I thought you were playing King Boo on.
Saying that, keeping it
Getting ghosted.
At this point, we stopped caring about the player and just started goofing off.
We are giving Hudson 0 respect during this final round.
I'm drifting like a f***ing goat over here. Like a throw coat.
When the race finished with Hudson snagging first, Lukas did his typical positions announcement, but got confused.
You got second, you got second. F this! Oh, fuck no, you got third.
What? I got 4th?
Yeah.
Bitch ass.
No! Rogan got 4th. You got first. Whoa, let's go!
Let's go! From 4th to 1st,
We needed the run.
That's good, bro.
Get your numbers straight.
Sloppy numbers.
What do you guys want to do this? Or am I mistaken?
Dude, I'm racing.
Oh, right now?
Dude, you're on payroll for this.
Yeah, I'm
Like what?
You heard it right. When comparing the times to the others, I remained first, followed by Tanner second, Hudson third, and Rogue bringing up the rear in 4th. Race 3 started with even weirder conversations.
I thought a sumo sitting a cake in 7. There was one. I had to nair my dad's back, and I think I was a changed man.
Yeah.
Later on lap 3, Hudson fell victim to the seizure-inducing interrupting frame once again. The race concluded with the needed first, but all had us wondering who placed where.
What's the time to be? What's the time to be?
You don't have it, bro. What is it? 2:10, you're 4th.
How? I feel like I was doing good. Bro, you hit that item so hard.
Yeah.
Am I walking away with 2 firsts on GP2?
Dude, I know it's rare for you. You might get it.
Are you all 4ths or do you have a 3rd?
When looking at all the times, like you heard, Hudson's in last, with Rogan remaining the victor, followed by me in second and Tanner in third, but only by milliseconds. Now that we are on the final race, a race where I'm currently first, I had some advice for Hudson.
Slap this one up for me, because I got first here.
While finishing up the first lap, again, the announcer Justin was a little offensive.
Yoshi is slowly closing in.
With the game being one of my better performances, Lukas shared how he thought this would impact rankings.
I think this game has been good for the scores and like tightening things up a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, it gives me some dubs when I'm taking some. Get back on it, bro. I got money on you.
I'm over it.
In the middle of the race, out of nowhere, Tanner decided to rehash the 3DS joystick argument.
I'm nervous with that little thing. Yeah, but I feel like I should on that one. It's optimized for it.
With me wanting to keep my second first, I was rooting for Hudson's downfall.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. With the squares. It's such a funny item. Let's go!
When finishing with another first place, Lukas dropped this surprising news on us.
That was a good time. Was it? First.
Oh! I'll take it. I needed
What was that?
I needed that bad.
Take an L, son! 223,605.
What was it?
When compared to the other players, Hudson of course overtook my first, pushing me to second, followed by Rogan third, and Tanner in another fourth. Now it's time to look at all the scores. Here are all the positions for Mario Kart Arcade GP2. As you can see, with the 2 first snagged by Rogan, he is now in a perfect tie with Hudson, making it the first tie since the beginning of the championship. Another notable achievement is, this was the first game I received the most points on, even with Rogue's 2 firsts. Other than that, Tanner didn't do so great, but remains in third, with him still being 16 points ahead of me. With those 21 wacky races in the past, it's time to cozy up next to the fire and spill the tea. Right away, the guys were asked their thoughts on the game and their performances.
Kind of good. I got first place, maybe 2, I don't remember. Second place,
maybe 4th, maybe? Do you remember? Was there a 4th in there?
All I know is my gameplay's on the upward trajectory, unlike other players. I'm not going to name names, Hudson Brown.
I did okay. I got 1 first. It was fairly even. Jeffrey and Rogan definitely had the best times for sure, but I don't think it'll mix up like the overall rankings too much.
Horrible. But you know what? It's time trials. Like, I want to race. This isn't racing.
Better than I expected. I mean, I got 2 first places, so I'm pretty happy about that.
It was entirely there's no turns. Or play back the footage. You're going in a straight line. Whoever has the fastest car wins.
It took less time, which I was so down for. Really thankful for that one. But kind of boring a little bit, but necessary, part of the process.
Do you think that using the handicap of Bowser having the top speed on the straightest map in the game was like an unfair advantage at all?
Well, I didn't make the rules, first of all. Well, I kind of did.
Yeah.
I made the rule of everyone needs to choose the same character. But, sorry, Bowser's got some downsides, but his upside normally is speed. I didn't make the rules.
It's well known in the GP community that Bowser is the fastest. You can see it on the screen, the stats, speed all the way, 5 stars out of 5.
Bowser should only be played by advanced players. Would you consider Jeffrey an advanced player?
No.
Do you think your several 4th places will hurt you in the leaderboards?
I mean, yeah, no shit, they'll hurt in the leaderboards.
How angry are you right now?
I'm fuming.
Then the group was asked to compare the game to the previous GP title.
Better, I guess, but kind of more the same. Not really that fun, pretty just annoying.
It felt the same. We just played easier tracks, so it was like, I don't know, less exciting.
Pretty much the same, honestly. Like, the maps looked pretty much the same. Like, the item boxes were the same. Like,
How do you feel for GPTX, the last arcade game?
they all suck ass, so I'm sure that one will also probably suck ass, and I'll hate it.
Is the only reason you say they suck ass is because you kind of suck?
I'm not gonna answer that question. Next question.
Mario?
Can we move this up? You wanna stop stuttering and get to your question, bro? Like,
The Infinite... Oh, man.
oh no! I'm sorry, Jeffrey.
The next question was about their thoughts on
Justin Berti.
The announcer was annoying.
Give me your best impression of the announcer.
Luigi was hit with basin.
Luigi is wiped out by the basin.
What's your best impression of the announcer?
I can't remember his name, and I'm thankful for that. So I can't get one.
Did he say his name?
This broadcast is brought to you by Justin Berti.
Every single race, it was presented by this dude I've never heard of and never will think about again after this day.
Did you like the addition of the announcer?
No, that guy.
Give me your best impression of the announcer.
One of the lines he says.
Hudson chose one.
I'll give one. Give me a good line.
You know him, bro. We had a bunch. Boo is on the back of the car, rushing down the wheels.
Boo is hanging on the hammer, making the wheel heavy.
questions were then asked about Lucas's several score slip-ups.
You faced a little bit of controversy.
I can't stop looking at the hole on your side.
I know. I know, so
Okay.
You faced a little bit of controversy on the last game because of the somewhat questionable scorekeeping. You want to elaborate on that?
If anybody wants to question my methods, they're welcome to do my job for me.
Are you drunk?
No.
We just finished Mario Kart GP2, and it was again another example of Lukas fumbling the numbers. Is this gonna be an ongoing issue?
I hope not, because the last thing I need is Jeffrey blaming Lukas on his 4th place finish for his own YouTube video.
The group was then asked their thoughts on the next title, Mario Kart Wii, and how they think it'll go.
I think I'm gonna shock a lot of people.
Are you nervous about Tanner and Rogue being god tier in Wii?
I'll tell you right now, I'm not nervous about Tanner because his gameplay today has been doo-doo dog shit. So Rogan, a little bit, but like I said, a little bit of prep going on behind the scenes, if you know what I mean.
So you're saying that you didn't practice at all?
Never have.
So you're saying that 2 days ago you didn't tell me that you practiced DS?
Not on record. Not on record, that's allegations.
I don't know, I feel like there's a couple of witnesses that could testify.
There's a lot on the line here.
Do you think your reputation is on the line here?
Yeah.
How do you think you'll perform?
Pretty good. It's one I've had the most experience with.
I already know I'm bro. I think I'll do fine on some of the ones after Wii, but Wii is definitely going to be like the one that's going to set me back, I think, a little bit. And then I'm going to have to work my way back from that. Maybe I'll get 4th. Maybe. We'll see. I'll probably get beat by the bots though.
Some say Tanner, some say Rogan, most say Jeffrey for the W. Do you agree with that assessment?
I don't know. Rogan seems pretty hot on the sticks is what I've been seeing in games played at my place. Tanner and him have kind of fought over that trophy for a while. Maybe Jeffrey sometimes. I haven't seen too much of that.
Will you live up to both nicknames, Tanner L. Wixie and Tanner One Trick Pony Wixie?
Next question.
There's a couple rumors that Jeffrey's got this next game in the bag. Some say it's a guarantee. Some say it's a done deal. Some say why even play it?
Some would be mentally deficient.
What if Jeffrey wins them all?
That's funny.
I want to do the fun ones. I can only point out courses I don't like.
Like what?
Well, I don't want to say them out loud because I might get chosen, but
Okay.
Wario's Gold Mine is the hardest map in the game. 2nd by Rainbow Road, 3rd by Grumble Volcano. So I guess any maps but those I'm confident on. Are you interested in aligning with another player? Maybe, for example, Jeffrey, to plot against Tanner or
What is this
Rogan?
right now? What is this, bro? What does that even mean? How do you even plot against other people in Mario Kart?
Rogan and Tanner are thought to be the potential victors for Mario Kart Wii. Do you think Jeffrey's got a chance? I heard he's working on
You know what, Jeffrey?
some shit.
I'll form an alliance with you for Wii, bro. I don't even know how that would work.
Your sole job is to sabotage Rogan.
If I know that you're ahead of me, I'm not gonna throw
You
it
take
at
one for the team.
If you do the same thing,
Oh no.
Lastly, the group was asked a few more questions relating to each other.
Why are you so non-confrontational when everyone else dogs on you during the interviews?
I just focus on doing good in the games. I'm not here to make enemies.
Rogan, what's going on there?
He actually opened up to me. It's a lot going on at home.
Tanner's name's been thrown around as a potential victor, but his gameplay today, some deem dog shit. Would you agree?
No, I don't think so. I think he's doing just fine.
How would you describe a 4th place other than dog shit?
I mean, I'd call it a Jeffrey.
Now the time has come. The game we have all been waiting for, except for Hudson. The hype has built to this moment right here.
Oh, it's Wii time.
Hello. Before we get back into that craziness, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Justin Berti for doing some voice acting on that last game. Yes, that is the authentic announcer for Mario Kart Arcade GP2, the US version. I found him online, talked to him a little bit. He's a really nice guy, and he was willing to take some time and do those goofy recordings for me. Plus, he was cool with us poking fun at his announcing a little bit. I also want to say he just released a movie on the 9th of December called Divorce Bait. It's available on several platforms. I'm going to include a link for the trailer in the description and a link for where you can get it in the description. So if you're interested in supporting him, he's a really nice guy, check it out. Anyway, back to the game. With this being the Mario Kart title that we have by far the most experience on, the tension was palpable. Before we got to playing, I was having some technical difficulties with the recording setup, and boy did everyone have something to say about it.
Whoa, it's
Should I put you? Should I?
Just stalling, of course.
How many frames of lag is this whole setup adding?
Dude, seriously.
The competitive integrity is being called into question.
It's very washed out.
How are color fields going to get capture carded?
I think they won't squeeze the thing.
Or is it going to be able to fit in the capture card though? Do you have another converter for it?
Yeah, so it's colored HDMI.
Okay.
I use it all the time. I'd love to take this away from camera.
It's so washed out. Excuses already.
Once the recording started, the group gave their thoughts on the scores.
I wish this was closer.
That was a horrible throw.
Yeah.
I don't think it's changed much from day one.
I don't either. Which is a problem.
The only step left was
I gotta get this Band-Aid off. That's just
That's a joke. Damn.
Just Band-Aids.
Fun open wounds.
Band-Aid.
Like that was actually gonna like affect anything, bro.
Then finally, it was time to see who would prove their skill on the most looked forward to game in the championship. Mario Kart Wii is a notable title for many reasons. First, when it comes to the actual game, it brings a lot new to the table. 6 new characters, 2 new items, new sick karts, alongside now bikes, which also includes some pretty dope options. There's also the ability to do tricks. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff. The point is, this is in the top 3 Mario Karts, not only in terms of content, but also fun. Also worth noting is this is the first 12 racer game, meaning taking an L here could potentially hurt more than ever. Other things you need to know include, here the controller setups vary more than any other game. I personally go with motion controls, Tanner and Hudson prefer Wiimote and Nunchuck, and Rogan prefers the debatably legal GameCube controller. Another personal preference debate constantly had is over the drift options. Here the game allows you to use automatic drift. So, I do. It pairs well with motion controls, but the guys always have to mention their dislike for it.
Go back and get a shot of automatic, bro.
Get a shot of this.
Yeah, get a shot of this.
True. Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't really know what's going on there.
Weird. What did we just see?
Safe on automatic.
Oh, because it's got maple and
No, we're not doing that.
Lastly, if not already clear from the previous mentions of it, Rogan and Tanner are typically the best here. The win normally shuffles between them two, with the occasional dub from me. Hudson, he's typically no threat whatsoever here. So after we tweaked the rules we normally play with, chose our assigned characters, which included not only an illegal Daisy, but characters that me and Hudson have no experience on.
This is where it gets dicey. New ground for me. Ooh, yeah, same. Maybe Yoshi will be good in this game though. I've never played Yoshi.
What do you usually play?
Usually like Wario, I think.
What characters in Mario would have abs?
Wario?
And once Julian and Lukas quit goofing off, it was then when the surreal reality set in.
I don't, this is like, this is too real. I know, this is too
When it was finally time to race, Mushroom Gorge was selected for the warm-up, a classic map filled with bouncy mushrooms and a few Goombas sprinkled throughout. The race started with me proclaiming my new strategy.
This is no trash talk, this is all...
Almost right away, Rogan slimed me over, but immediately paid the price. With how focused everyone was, the first lap was almost completely silent, until... When nearing a notorious ultra shortcut location, Rogue had me nervous.
Keep an eye on Rogue's gameplay, that's all I gotta say on this one.
The rest of the race was nothing special, ending with Tanner snagging first, Hudson with a respectable second, Rogan in third, and me, well, after my bouncy mushroom mishap, I was in an embarrassing 7th, which the guys had to make fun of me for.
Don't doubt me!
When selecting the Grand Prix, even though I mentioned it several times,
What cup do we do for week? No. So I guess any maps but those I'm confident on.
Tanner did end up convincing me that the Star Cup had a solid batch of maps.
Yeah, no, that one.
This?
Go back. No, go back. That one.
It's got Koopa,
That's
Maple, and
dicey.
Drum.
That's stacked.
I like it.
That's for content.
Before starting the first race, the group was antsy.
Some real ass shit we about to get into.
I did
Sweaty.
get it
I gotta get the fans going. I'm feeling more confident, bro.
Me and Tanner.
Yeah.
That's a hitter.
I've waited so long for this.
A hitter. It's a hitter.
Okay, not hit out.
Race 1 took place on Daisy Circuit, a map home to a lot of cones and this weird statue.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's a love story going on. It's so weird. No, it's cute.
When starting the race, the game knew of my potential. Lap 1 was nothing special until the end where Tanner attempted to POW the 2 players in front of him, but they both dodged it. That was followed by an immediate group shock. It was when lap 2 started is when I knew this was gonna be a rough one. Right away after receiving the cloud, Tanner unknowingly passed it to me, which I failed to get rid of in time, all while being inked I might add. Later in the lap, I found myself struggling for items.
Baby Mario, you son of a bitch!
When again nearing that same cloud cut corner, I again had one on me.
Dude! Second cloud?
and again couldn't get rid of it.
That's so unfair.
Then everyone got shocked again, and then it was followed by a POW, which everyone dodged but me.
What is this?
The race finished with Rogan taking a crazy early first.
Rogan was done and chilling for like 15 minutes.
That lead got absolutely despicable.
I know.
Followed by Hudson, surprisingly in second, Tanner in a not so great fourth, and me, after all I went through, 7th. Like the warm-up. A placement not seen since the first game. As you could expect, I wasn't pleased.
Second for Hudson, 4th for Tanner, 7th for Jeffrey.
I get hit with true clouds. 2 clouds. That's game. That's game for the tournament. That I'm not even gonna blame my driving. That was complete RNG with the box. Cloud 7th place. Punish a player already down in the leaderboard.
You can't really blame the driving when you're on auto player.
Yeah, true.
You're not even driving around page, bro.
It's auto driving.
You're in the
Race 2 took place on Koopa Cape, a favorite of ours filled with Goombas, Koopa Zappers, and a lot of hazardous water. Koopa Cape is also known for its dreaded half-pipe effect. Lap 1 wasn't too notable besides Rogan again securing a dominant first, but this time with me in second. Tanner, who was currently in third, attempted a pass on me, but then this happened.
Oh, that slowed that bitch down right there.
Right before he was nearly swept away, he launched a red shell, which by surprise nailed me. That still didn't help Tanner's position, and neither did this strange fall off. Also in the back was Hudson, who, like me in the first race, received a cloud.
What? Trust me, I know that feeling.
Then again, but successfully shook it off after a few tries.
Trust me, the Rinse are not my game.
But was shrunk again anyway shortly after.
Dude, the shocking is like been an epidemic.
When entering the final lap, Hudson tried to move on Tanner, but failed.
Oh, Tanner, I saw your screen. Yeah, that was intentional.
I was still up with Rogan, who couldn't be touched in first. That was until we heard this coming. That led to me passing Rogue, but only temporarily because, unlike me, Rogan again dodged a POW. Before entering the tube one last time, Hudson shortcutted his way into the 4th top spot behind Rogue, me, and Tanner. Rogan, of course, ended first, which was about to be followed up by me until this happened. As you can see with my double wall bonks and his use of a mushroom, Tanner passed me for second, with me following him up with an undeserved third. Hudson was the only one left, who, even after another Koopa Zap, snagged 4th. After that concluded, the group gave their thoughts on what just happened.
That was so good. I watched Tanner fall off and I was feeling it. I was like, this is it. I was emotional.
Yeah.
This is
Rogan
tournament shot.
Rogan's having a day.
Yeah,
Yeah, true. He's on his A.
True. We need Rogue to like get like food poisoning.
There's been something going on with the clouds.
Yeah, you're right.
2 clouds, cloud on you, 2 clouds on me.
That game I got 3 clouds, right?
Trust me, I know it.
Race 3 took place on a top 3 of all-time map, Maple Treeway. A beautiful course filled with item-filled leaf piles, slippery logs, and some big-ass caterpillars. With me hoping to further improve my score, I had to get in the zone. Lap 1 was again a quiet one. The group was honed in. When entering lap 2, the group was hit by a lightning bolt, leading me to drop a mushroom that was later picked up by a tiny Hudson. Lap 2 had Tanner first take an L to Rogue's box, then again when I hit him with this. After I failed to knock off Tanner, I pulled off this crazy log latch on.
I barely stayed on, bruh.
To no one's surprise, again, Rogan was incredibly far ahead.
Rogan's playing a single player game right now.
Near the end of the lap, another POW was dropped on the group, but it was at a time where Hudson, Tanner, and I were about to make a jump. Hudson and I surprisingly survived, while Tanner wasn't so lucky. With me being far behind Rogue, I was happy to hear the sweet, sweet sound of a blue shell.
Yes!
I was further blessed with being in the tunnel while the group was again shocked. This luck didn't matter because Rogan remained nearly half a lap ahead.
Rogan's forehead right now? Is it perspirating?
Some would say it's down.
Oh my god, it's leaky.
While I was busy gunning for him up there, Tanner and Hudson were back exchanging leaf pile items. When nearing the home stretch on the final lap, my character took a sharp incorrect turn caused by this near championship ending event.
Daisy is taking L's if your name's L Taker. No! My controller just caused me to fall off, bro.
Dude, oh my god, dude. That was so loud, dude.
We playing this race again or what?
Trying to no. It's gonna take. Oh god, that's unfair.
Believe it or not, this exact situation was predicted earlier by me on the previous game.
I'm scared about a Wiimote disconnecting on Wii, but I think it'll be fine. I tested all four and they work. That's gonna be a point of contention later.
After that dramatic disconnect drop-off, I thought it was over for me, until I received this item.
Yeah, your controller.
This is bullshit. It's dying so fast. I kind of want to disconnect for the last game.
As you can see, I finished third, with Tanner behind me in fourth, with the top two spots being snagged by Rogan and Hudson.
What were your thoughts on the Maple Treeway third place from Jeffrey?
Who threw the shell?
Not me. Not Jeffrey.
Some CPU? That looks like some Jeffrey luck. Jeffrey gets the best items. I've seen Jeffrey pull 3 red shells in second place back to back. I've seen it. I'll testify in court. I've seen it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny when Jeffrey hit Tanner all the way on that third lap. That was pretty good.
What happened on Maple Treeway?
Don't talk about Maple Treeway. Roll the clip in the video. And shanked around. Items falling off the map, getting bonked off.
Though a complete accident, the group wasn't happy about the mid-race controller cuck.
Jeffrey's fault. It's his controller. That idiot can't buy batteries. Like,
No, this is not a battery thing.
Hey,
it's a controller.
we should have swapped that out because it did that before those races started. We should have.
What did he say?
That did that before those races started, but I assumed because it was your controller, you knew better.
I don't know what to tell you, bro. The
I'm not
controller
saying
works
it's-
sometimes,
I'm
it
not saying
sometimes
it's not
doesn't. This shit doesn't work either.
Maybe it's detecting the vibes in the room.
Use that one.
Maybe it's protesting the energy that you're putting out.
Before Race 4 started, we swapped out my dud Wiimote, hoping each of the player numbers would remain the same, which thankfully they did. At this point, with Tanner not doing as well as he said he would, he was a bit on the salty side.
I was about to literally tear
I was
up
clapping
over
cheeks
that.
the other night. Like, first after first after first.
Don't even blame yourself. Like, the items tonight have been wild, bro.
Yeah.
Like, crazy.
It was then time to finish the game on the map dreaded by me, and apparently also Rogue.
I should have never told you what my favorite track in this game is. Rumble.
Grumble Volcano's reputation comes from its numerous obstacles, including lava geysers, fireballs, fire snakes, and the course itself, which crumbles more and more every lap. Once I got myself back in the zone, I was ready to face my fear. Lap 1 started with everyone closer than ever. When nearing the path split at the end of the course, Hudson, Rogan, and I went right, while Tanner went left. On our side, Rogan got a little taste of his own barrel stuffing medicine. Soon after, I got nicked by a fire snake, causing me to spin out. And even though I was already down, Hudson threw a red shell at me as he was transitioning to first, but the shell still turned around and hit me. This was all while Rogan slithered his way back up to second. And this was all observed by Tanner, who was currently directly above us. Lap 2 had Rogan snag the inevitable first place mega lead, followed by Tanner, who finally started living up to his own hype. Then, when at the same spot as lap 1, Hudson hit me with another red, even though technically Tanner was ahead of him, but in the air, thus out of reach. It's also likely because Tanner and I's positions switched for a millisecond. Shortly after I caught back up on lap 3, you guessed it, Hudson delivered me a third red.
Bitch, you know what you just did?
After that, I was thinking it was over for me.
No! I missed 2 items on a wall bomb. Oh, this so game.
Further up in the race, Hudson kept up his red shell sabotage with Tanner now in his sights. But Tanner impressively shut it down. When checking in on Rogue, he was again hit with, for a third time this game, an old blue boy. At an unfortunate spot, but who are we kidding? He had more than enough time to recover. With Rogan in first, he was then followed by his wannabe little brother Tanner in second. All that was left was Hudson, who was currently in third, and me, who was currently in fourth. Hudson was looking to follow up Tanner, but made a critical error.
Oh, Jeffrey's gonna pass
And boy was he right. While cruising big, I swept in for the third. We then just assumed Hudson finished right behind me, but while in the lava, Hudson was also passed by Toad, leading him to taking an embarrassing 5th place, made worse by hitting Rogue's leftover green. Now it's time to look at the scoreboard. Here are all the positions for Mario Kart Wii. As you can see, the tie has been broken between Hudson and Rogan. Of course, because of Rogue's incredible 4 first places. Tanner and Hudson did so-so, with their positions being a mix of high and low placements. For me, besides my abysmal 7th, it wasn't too awful, with my consistent 3 third places. With that brings the end of game number 8. Now that the hype is settled, we can see that Rogue did live up to his reputation. Tanner, not so much. I gave a rough at first, but overall okay performance, and Hudson admittedly performed better than expected. With that Grand Prix in the books, it's time to take turns in the hot seat with yours truly.
Before you say shit, I got second overall in Kart Wii.
Who cares, bruh?
The first question was, of course, regarding their thoughts on the performances.
A lot better than I thought I was gonna do. Whew. I'm not happy with mine, to be honest. I don't want to blame the game, but the items, man, the first game with the items on Daisy Circuit was some of the most harassing I've received from a game.
Good. That went exactly how I wanted, even though we played Grumble Volcano, which is my weakest map by far.
Did you attempt the super shortcut?
There is no. Well, it's not in multiplayer, it's just in time trials.
Some call you a Mario Kart nerd. Would you agree with this?
I suppose, yeah. I like it a lot, so.
What the happened back there?
Jeff, off. Shut the up.
You spend this whole tournament hyping this up and you play like
I haven't hyped it up at all. And you know what happened? I still beat you, so I don't know.
Every time I ask what you're looking forward to, it's this game, and then I see 4ths.
I hate you.
Do you think you're on your comeback after a few rough games?
Yeah, I think all I really care about is beating Jeffrey because I don't like him. So, other than that, I don't really care about like any of the score really.
Maple Treeway wiped the floor with Tanner. Koopa Cape, some crying at the last second with Tanner winning. And glad Rogue did well. I've been rooting for him to win. I knew Tanner was going to choke on the game that he's been hyping up, and Hudson did surprisingly well. The players performed how you thought they would?
Unfortunately, yes. I think Rogan was first, Tanner was second. Would have loved to see Tanner first because I got money on him, but it didn't happen, so we move on.
Many have compared you to Rogan on Wii, but you were nothing compared to him.
Damn, that kind of hit too hard though.
People don't understand. Rogan's just incredibly good at Mario Kart Wii. Like, there's no way that any of us could ever beat him. And Tanner's really good too. Somehow, I was beating him a couple races. Like, that was big for me, I think. I thought that was gonna be my worst game, but it was okay.
Were you shocked by anyone's performance on Mario Kart Wii?
Jeffrey's, because it was really shit. It was really bad. I just honestly was so disappointed. Really expected him to do better.
If it wasn't for the controller disconnect and the item harassment, he would have placed high. I think everyone can agree to that. I have everyone on record agreeing with that.
You want to turn items
Are you
off
going to be
Mario
the
Kart,
fourth
is what
person?
you're saying?
Are you going to be the 4th person to agree with the take that Jeffrey was probably going to get first if it wasn't for the game?
It's the game. It's not. I mean, that's the nature of Mario Kart. You get over.
Next, they were asked about their favorite / most memorable / most notable moments on the Wii.
Every time I beat Jeffrey, yeah, that just felt good.
4th place.
Bro, 7th?
What happened on Koopa?
Bro, what happened on whatever map you got 7th on? I don't want to talk about that. 7th, bro? I didn't know we were getting 7ths out here. Seems to be the first one of the day.
Did you watch Jeffrey's screen during that? I recall 3 clouds.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe Jeffrey's controller dying? No. Maybe the sheer number of almost map fall-offs that I witnessed from Tanner. I was kind of glued to his screen, not gonna lie, during the races.
Was it hard to watch at times?
Yeah, a little. I don't like to see anybody struggle, and there's a fair amount of struggle in that gameplay.
Alright, let's get into the 7th place. Is it because of all the hard drugs you're back on? Some say you've fallen off the wagon again.
I'm on them, but I'm not on the right ones apparently because we're taking L's out here. What were your thoughts on the items on that cup?
Bro, I swear, someone wanted to change the code before the game because they were insane. Nothing like we've ever played before, and we play this game all the time.
Throughout the interviews, me and my struggle with items was mentioned several times.
Even though people like to pick on Jeffrey, do you think he's got an argument for his game? Jeffrey gets a lot of flack despite his sometimes flawless, most of the time flawless gameplay. Do you think the hate's warranted?
Yes, because he talks the most shit by far.
Do you think the shit talking from all the others is because of intimidation?
It's because of retaliation for what Jeffrey's already said.
Jeffrey's driving was to blame or the RNG with the items?
I don't know. I got hit with a lot of RNG on a couple of those, so that's just partially like any Mario Kart game though. Is there's gonna always be like.
Are you making excuses?
No, I'm just saying that's just the way to. Like if you're good, then you're gonna get past it anyways. But there's always some amount.
So over the past interviews, you've been saying that you think the others are conspiring against you. Jeff, are you losing your mind?
There's some weird bias going on with me. I mean, why pick me as the villain? I've been only supportive. Everyone's drama talk is from other mouths, not mine.
Then the group members were each asked to address the numerous rumors that were circulating around.
Lucas was seen on his phone when he was supposed to be taking down place numbers. What's going on with that?
I don't know. We need to keep an eye on him because I'm getting worried.
He says, you're first this game, next, you're fourth, next, you're third. Isn't that
And then
weird?
he just speaks and he's like, oh, I meant Tanner was first. Rogan was second. What's that?
What are your thoughts on Rogan as a player? He keeps it low key and he's slowly coming back.
I mean, solid. The dude has a ton of wins on the day.
He doesn't have as kind of words for you. He called your gameplay depressing, embarrassing.
And 6th grade.
Me and Rogue used to go back to the 6th grade. I can't believe you say that.
He said you were dog shit then and you're even worse now.
He knows my dog would always poop in my shoes. Jeff has been floating around that the camera crew has gotten involved in the racing and slipped Rogan some live vans.
Wouldn't put it past him. Rogue's on some unnatural, stone cold shit out there. No talking, no fun having, weirdly focused, weirdly quiet. Refuses to pick enemies, refuses to pick allies. And the gameplay, it's getting better and I don't know why. It's only sweat. Look at his forehead, it proves it.
Hudson was telling us you have a golden wheel. Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
Will the winner of the tournament receive the golden wheel?
I mean, I can keep my golden wheel then, so.
There's rumors, substantiated by several people, of an instance where Rogan was seen handing cold hard cash to Lukas, the scorekeeper, and ever since then we've seen really high numbers on Rogan's places.
I agree.
There's gotta be a connection, correct?
Yes.
This lack of confidence in yourself, where does it stem from? Small dick?
I've been having some issues at home with my family. It's broken. It's been very hard on me. It's just not the same anymore.
Some say Hudson's wins are the only thing he has to his name, period. Is that sad? Is that depressing you?
Well, you're asking me to accept that as fact. I don't believe that to be true.
Hudson is on record saying if Lukas is in the tournament, he wouldn't even bat an eye.
He's right. I'm not a threat in Mario Kart. I respect him for being honest.
Hudson says he's most shocked by your gameplay. Shocked how bad it is.
Hudson's always been a slimy shit talker. Might have to, take that side of him.
Do you think Hudson's physically a threat outside of the game?
Hell no.
If you had to face anyone in a fight non-related to Mario Kart, who could you take? Jeffrey?
The group was then asked first about their feelings on the future and their current standing.
What do you think's your biggest competition for the last 6 games?
Probably Hudson.
Are you proud of your performance so far in the tournament?
Yeah, I think I'm doing okay.
Now that your potential tournament winner is over, is there any hope for you to even place anything other than last?
I could get lucky.
Then about their thoughts on the next title on the 3DS.
What are your thoughts on that obscure title?
No idea, dude. I don't know.
Are you gonna play with the 3D?
No. Why would I do that? What the f am I supposed to do? Look cross-eyed in my DS the entire time? I don't want to do that.
Any gut feelings about who's going to be able to pick up 7?
I think Rogue has definitely played that game more than he says he has because he's the only one who's owned it for a long time. I think a lot of us have no experience, but I'm saying I think Rogue's gonna win because he definitely has some practice hours in it. You know Rogan, always on YouTube, always on the practice mode. So I feel like I'll do okay.
I'm not too familiar with the title, so, if DS skills transfer, I'm sure Rogan will have a good time. But I don't know. I know it's a wild card. I know they really focus on the air travel portions, the gliders and shit. So that might be something to throw in the mix, make things different. I don't know.
When on the mobile titles, you seem to have shaky hands. Is this over nervousness over the tournament? Or
No, I'm an alcoholic.
Are you drunk right now? Get out of here. Okay.
Even though the most anticipated title is now done and over with, that doesn't mean the craziness stops here. With there still being 5 games left to go, anyone can still take the trophy. In order to find out, let's keep going with the next title that supposedly no one has played before. Next up was the third and final handheld title. When it comes to mainline games, this is by far the one we have the least experience on. This is because none of us have ever owned 3DSs, except for Rogan. He is in fact the only person who owns both the game and device required to play it. Knowing this has caused the group to conspire on whether Rogue has actually played the game previously or not, even though he claims he hasn't. Throughout the races, we will analyze his gameplay specifically to determine if he is telling the truth and has no experience like everyone else, or if he's lying and is a secret 3DS pro. With that established, let's enter the third dimension with game number 9. Before we dive in, it's finally time to introduce this championship's 7th member.
What is your name?
Trey.
Trey, a very cryptic man who no doubt loves Mario Kart, but also loves the occasional pot stirring. With Trey having played a lot of previous Kart with this group, he already has his thoughts on the players.
There's a better overall Mario Kart player than me, so he would probably beat me. Hudson's interesting. He doesn't shit talk a lot, but like he will. And he does good in the really weird games.
On 64?
Yeah, he's good at that game, which I don't get at all. Like that game is, you have to wince to see it. He's probably like ranking overall players. He's probably 3, I'd say overall.
Who's second? Oh, Rogan, Tanner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Jeff.
Though one of my oldest friends, Trey and I tend to poke fun at each other more than most.
Do you think you could beat Jeffrey?
Yeah, I just think that's a given. I'm sorry. I feel like anyone could just hop in and just do whatever and beat Jeffrey.
For scheduling reasons, Trey was unable to attend the playing of many games, but from what he's seen and heard, he already has his thoughts on the championship.
Like overall, the concept of playing them all is really good, but when it comes down to it, playing the games that literally people haven't heard of or care to play, it just like seems a little like numbing. Overall, if you want to do it, do them all, but like, God, some of them are rough.
Because of his late arrival, he was asked his takes on several of the previous hot topics.
Overall, I think playing automatic is kind of bitch made. I think it's like playing with training wheels, and I think like everyone should be using the same settings. Like, you really don't need to play automatic. The game's been around for a long time now. Playing manual is more fun because you're doing it. It takes more skill and like it's a better payoff.
Anyone in the tournament, who would be the hardest to take down in a fight?
Tanner.
Who could you take the easiest?
Jeff.
For the remainder of the championship, Trey has no particular role but to provide his classic witty commentary.
He always says the last thing you think he would at every moment, so I think it's worthwhile to have him around.
With Trey's overall hard-to-read personality and questionable player alignments, he could provide additional controversy to this already very controversial event.
I wish he could have been here for the whole thing. I mean, there are definitely some great moments that he missed out on, and I'm happy he's here now, though. Definitely, I'd like to have another person on my team.
Though not the most visually distinct game in the series, Mario Kart 7, like every other mainline title, introduces a lot of new content. The biggest changes include first the utilization of the 3DS's fake 3D feature, which actually works, but not in the way Hudson described. Here in 7, the big new gimmicks include underwater driving and hang gliding, which are both pretty fun and refreshing additions. Also, of course, there's new characters, rather strange ones at that. And remember those big-ass caterpillars from Maple Treeway? Those also somehow found their way onto the roster. Hell, even Shy Guy's back from DS download play, and now he's fully playable. There's a lot more new. There's now a first-person perspective available to use, which can be combined with gyroscope driving. There's dope new customizable carts, including the now cursed clown car. Also, we got 3 new items: the fireball spitting fire flowers, the raccoon tail flipping super leaf, and the series' most OP item yet, the Lucky 7, an item that gives you a mushroom, banana, green and red shell, blooper, bob, and star, all at once. A few more notable things include the goated second screen minimap from DS is back. Here, sadly, coins are also back. We aren't talking the unimportant GP coins, we're talking the crucial speed boost super circuit ones that cap at 10. Also in this game, the racer count is reduced from 12 back to 8. And lastly, the news I'm most proud to announce: clouds are gone. big bless up for that. Before we get into racing, let me explain the funky setup. Hudson's on a blue 3DS, Rogan's on a black new 3DS XL, Tanner's on a purple new 2DS XL, and me, I'm back on the red modded 3DS, again to record at least some gameplay off screen at my computer. Everyone else had a camera set back up above them like we did on the previous 2 handheld titles. Also similar to those, 4 copies were needed in order to access all content. And if you thought the usernames were confusing on DS, here Tanner went as player because his cartridge was never used, Hudson went as Scott, Rogan again as Rogue smiley emoticon, and me also Rogue smiley emoticon, all because we were too lazy to change the names on our borrowed copies. With all that out of the way, it's time for the warm-up. When we finished syncing our devices together, the map selection process started, but was interrupted by the banger menu music.
That's kind of hidden.
While selecting characters and carts, Tanner's inexperience with how a brand new cartridge works was obvious.
Does anyone else have more than 3 carts?
I have 4 or 5.
Bruh.
Collusion.
I have 3.
Wait, am I picking?
No, I'm picking.
I can't switch any. Oh, I can. What?
I can't switch anything.
Wait.
Get your shit straight.
Bro, we got 2 circuits.
Tanner only has 2 of them. Jeffrey has more. Look at this.
No, I can see all.
Oh, they got me on the tutorial mode.
baby.
Yeah.
When selecting the warm-up map, we knew we wanted a unique 7 exclusive, so we decided on one of the Wii Sports Resort courses, Maka Woohoo, or as I thought it was pronounced,
What's Maka Woo?
Maka Woohoo? It's a
Maka
woohoo.
Woo, yeah, that's
It's
the
pronounced Macaw. Woo.
We then discovered that here, everyone has the ability to select a map, which is then randomly shuffled. So in order to get the map we wanted, we agreed everyone select Maka Woohoo. So, Rogue and I did, Hudson understandably chose the other Woohoo course by mistake, and Tanner strangely chose a Bowser Castle map, which is surprising given his history on them. Anyway, Maka Woohoo was selected for the warm-up. Like I mentioned, this takes place on Woohoo Island, the setting for Wii Sports Resort. Also, this is one of Mario Kart 7's 3 maps where instead of the traditional 3 laps, there is just one long route chopped into 3 sections. The race started with Tanner first realizing Hudson's kart choice,
Dude, classic Hudson and the Eggmobile.
This is
Got him
warm
with the egg.
then realizing that no, the D-pad is not an option to drive with.
Oh, I'm puffed up.
Oh, what? It doesn't work. Oh, you can't use the
No,
thing. You
this
have
is
to use
bad.
After rounding a few corners, clue number 1 for the Rogan prior practice predicament, or R-triple-P as we'll call it, was found. While the other players were struggling with the strange new feeling drift, Rogan was having 0 problems with it. Almost as if this wasn't his first time drifting.
How does the drifting work?
Kind of weird.
This feels weird.
Is it drifting like Wii or is it like
Holy it's slow.
Hudson even picked up on how well he was doing despite our struggle.
Rogue's at first with 3 red shells.
The acceleration.
Then again, when discussing the drifting difficulty, Rogan was pulling off suspiciously expert-looking corner cuts. Make sure to keep this all in mind. The rest of the race mostly just consisted of me non-stop complaining.
Bro! I know it's a warm-up, but Jesus Christ. The acceleration on this car could not be worse. Bro, what the f? I'm playing like absolute buns. I'm playing like bad. This is like unseen levels of bad gameplay.
Then, after a few boulder bonks and a scenic hang glide, we were at the finish where Rogan snagged first, Tanner second, Hudson third, and me a DNF 8th, which immediately caused PTSD flashbacks.
That's a hot 8. I wish that counted, y'all.
This is going to be another bad one for Jeffrey, I think.
Rogue got first and 8th.
I know.
While discussing the race, Tanner threw out another threat Rogue's way.
I'm done for Rogue to take some L's for once. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I wish we could actually do something about it.
We're not enemies, Tanner.
What is this?
Dude, I just want it to be close, you know?
We're not enemies.
When preparing for the Grand Prix, Tanner was conflicted on his kart choice.
Birthday girl. I gotta rock the birthday girl. The bubble gate looks cooler. This shit is cringe. Should I do this one for the swag or keep with this one? Probably keep.
What'd you get last time?
Second. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. The swag though.
Even though everyone chose fun-looking vehicles, like we have for many of the past games, Rogue stuck with the standard kart. That's where clue number 2 for the R-triple-P comes in. Why choose the boring standard kart? Does he know something we don't? I mean, I kinda chose it as well, but come on, I didn't know what I was doing.
Dude, these cars suck ass.
And the focus here is on Rogue anyway. All I'm saying, little fishy if you ask me. It was then time for the GP map selection process. The group was leaning towards the Flower Cup because of its second Woohoo map inclusion, but Tanner wasn't feeling it.
Just choose one with a good amount of new shit in it.
Yeah.
Woohoo Loop, Mario Circuit, Music Park, Rock Mountain.
Music Park.
When waiting to spawn in, clue number 3 for the RPP was revealed. Even though we only finished the warm-up, Rogue was begging for more.
We gotta
64.
play this one some more. Like just casually.
And he revealed that not only does he own one 3DS, but
We don't have enough 3DSs.
I have one.
and then later, when asked, he revealed to me this. He's expecting us to believe that he has no prior experience even though he owns 2 games and 2 ways to play it. I'm not buying it. Despite Tanner's dislike for it, the Flower Cup was selected and Woohoo Loop was the first map up. Again, this is one of those 3 sections instead of 3 laps, boys. Right away, Hudson realized this game was a little easier on the hands.
This is definitely like less carpal tunnel syndrome than
Yeah.
the DS.
While driving through the iconic Woohoo Island, an area everyone grew up within, even though I mentioned it previously,
This is weird hearing this music on here.
Tanner was still confused about the music.
This is Wii music?
While in 6th, Rogan obtained a star and used it to shortcut to 1st. On his way there, he nudged Hudson, but surprisingly had no effect on him. At the end of section 2 is where clue number 4 was discovered. Even though, supposedly, this was his second race ever, Rogan found a way to do his classic item hold, despite no one else knowing how. Dicey. Very dicey. Section 3 was filled mostly with more complaining.
Dude, the wipeout animation in this game is like 10 years
Dude, the
longer.
grass in this game is really slow.
Dude, do you even get a speed boost with the star? You don't.
Not really.
What? That's criminal.
Get coins to go faster.
Yeah.
Really?
That's a mechanic.
I didn't even know that yet.
Oh, dude, I can't afford to miss items. Dude, they don't put many coins out either.
I know.
With the finish coming up, Hudson launched a blue shell aimed at Rogue, but also me, because here the blue shells have a mechanic where they stay on the ground on their way to 1st, all with the goal of maybe taking us both out. The strange thing was that on my screen, the blue shell did hit me at the same time I was using a bomb, which just ended up exploding up ahead, but on Hudson's screen, there was an explosion right when the shell hit me, which then caused Hudson to spin out. And the crazy thing is, the minimap only shows my explosion, not the one Hudson ran into. This is easily the most unexplainable occurrence in any race of ours. At the time, we didn't pick up on the double ba-ba blunder. Instead, Hudson was just still overly salty.
Wow.
Dude.
That's what you get, dude. That's what you get.
That was game, dude. That was such a long cutscene.
That's what you deserve, Jeffrey. Sorry.
While we were bickering and Rogue was finally getting hit with the blue shell, Tanner pulled off an impressive finish, going from 6th place to 1st using a golden mushroom.
Oh man. Tanner!
I did not deserve that.
That was followed by Rogan in 3rd, sandwiched between 2 Marios, who were acting almost as bodyguards for Luigi. That's it, I'm dropping clue number 5 on suspicious bot familiarity with Rogan. The way they protected Rogue near the end seems to me like they were helping out their favorite, frequent Luigi player. Some might say it's a stretch, but I've never seen bots go out of their way for a human player like that before. I then finished 5th, which I wasn't happy about.
Weird game, bro. Dude, this game handles weird. I got hit by one item. Dude, there was no points. Weirdest game, bro.
And Hudson in 6th. When looking at the scores, Tanner was happy to see Rogan's placement.
I got hit by one item.
Rogue didn't get second? Bruh, this is huge. This is the beginning of the comeback. This is what I was feeling.
Before moving on, even though Tanner is the only one who disobeys the character rule, he asked this dumb question.
Who the hell is Metal Mario?
Race 2 took place on Mario Circuit, a pretty basic 3-lap Mario-themed course with the only obstacle being a single Goomba. Right away, Tanner picked up on the mysterious Mario twin team-up.
Dude, Metal Mario, low-key, like, out for blood.
As we entered Peach's castle for the first time, time, Tanner activated
Sniper mode.
Dude! Lap 2 had me in 6th place, but not for long because a well-timed star allowed me to skip several positions and avoid a lightning as well. The group wasn't happy about my lucky item, especially Hudson, who was again overly angry.
Dude, Jeffrey always has star when that shit happens, swear to God.
Oh my god, Jeffrey, that... Oh, I'm still small! Dude, you, Jeffrey. Oh, I'm still small! Dude, you, Jeffrey.
When entering the castle for a second time, Hudson finally got a taste of his own medicine.
Oh my god, why? The blue shell! Okay.
The race carried on with more snipes and more complaining.
This thing not giving you a speed boost is a crime.
Bro, that ink is bad.
Lap 3 had me holding first for a bit until Hudson continued his targeting.
That's what you get, Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's the start of my downfall right there.
That was followed up by this slimy move from Rogan.
Oh, you're a bitch for that, Rogue! You're such a bitch for that. I'll never forgive you on that one. Rogan barrel stuffs items harder than any other player by a landslide.
Lap 3 was looking to be a straightforward finish, but boy was that not the case. When in the pipe, for a final time, Hudson dropped a banana, which was then slipped on by Rogue, allowing me to pass him. I was then aiming to finish second after Hudson, who already grabbed first, but then Rogan decided to throw a banana forward, which is almost never done, let alone successfully. That allowed Rogan to instead snag second. I was looking to be passed last second again by one of the Mario twins, suspiciously enough, but he slipped on Rogue's last second banana, allowing me to grab the third. Tanner as well was about to place under Mario until, to my shock, Rogan's second hired gun, Metal Mario, who I believe was aiming for me, sniped his twin with a bomb while he was still spinning out from the banana. Tanner then dodged the blast and barely grabbed fourth. Even though there was a little Mario on Mario crime, I believe it was all accidental. The way they attempted to protect their beloved Luigi, to whom they play with on a regular basis it seems like, it was just a little too perfect to not have a connection. That little victory apparently wasn't enough for Rogue because he hit me with this spicy comeback.
First.
Second.
Fourth.
Third.
Okay.
I could have been a lie, Jeff.
What, bitch? You almost took a fat third there, so don't even start. That was a good banana, I'll give you that, but I hated it.
It was then time for race 3 on Music Park. Easily one of the most unique maps with all its different music references and actual instruments you can race on top of. You also got piranha plants, big bouncy notes. It's a crazy map. Off the bat, I kinda indirectly did this.
You knocked me off.
Yeah, let's go, you little
You, dude, I swear.
The complex interaction started with me nailing Metal Mario with a red while Hudson was already bumping into me. Then, while flopping around, Metal Mario hit me, which caused me to bump back into Hudson, who was then also hit by Metal Mario, causing him to fall off the map. So to say whose fault it really is debatable. The whole thing then quickly divulged into yet another Bowser argument.
Jeffrey's like, let me play Bowser.
That's a disadvantage. I wish I could take
How's that a disadvantage? You're fast
I'd
and you're
rather play
heavy.
Mario, bro.
Shut up.
Later in the lap was when I got my first taste of the Super Leaves.
I don't even know what this item is, bro.
They turned you into furry.
Lap 2 had Julian on cutthroat mode.
What's crazy is you watch Jeffrey and he doesn't get first because of his own error, but other people don't get first because they get cut by items.
Point blank.
While the group was again complaining about the game, Wario had enough.
I know, yeah, it's so dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
Way to make the game less fun. Dude, oh my god, I can't see
When
a
you have
damn
no
thing with
coins,
this ink.
you go so slow.
Coins is the key.
What?
The race continued with a classic Hudson red shell attempt, but you know Rogue had that banana ready.
Alright, Rogue. I know that's not gonna hit you, but I can dream, okay?
While hitting the group with a lightning, Lukas gave an analysis on the players' positions.
Tight, 1, 2, 3, and then
Things are happening on the player's screen.
Shortly after, Rogue unfortunately got hit with a blue. For a second time this race, actually. At some point, you gotta feel bad for him. He truly is a blue shell magnet. The blast actually also clipped Tanner, but he was alright. Rogue though, well...
No way I got hit by that.
That was big.
When nearing that same spot, I again struggled with the turn.
That's a Mario meltdown.
No, this is ridiculous. When you have no points, it's like laughably slow.
Get your money and put your money up.
While I was hitting the group with lightning number 2, Tanner spoke this misfortune into existence.
I need like an insane L to happen.
That manifested musical mash caused Rogan to finish in a surprising 5th, behind an even more surprising duo, the Mario twins, who appeared to have abandoned their Luigi loyalty. Combining their portrayal with this position being Rogan's lowest since Super Mario Kart, and combined with a reanalysis of that lap 2 blue shell, yeah. That was also one of the Mario twins. I think it's safe to say, case closed on the RPPP. He most likely has little to no experience, and if he does, it ain't showing. Ahead of the Mario Mischief Makers was Tanner, who grabbed 2nd, and Hudson, who got 1st. Checking back in on me, I was still 8th, until this lucky item acquisition.
This game. This is the worst one yet. I hate it, bro.
This one's fine.
I wasn't expecting the coin element. That's why I hate it. Absolute laughable gameplay today.
If the blue shells didn't exist,
It's
this
so
game would be
bad.
so easy.
Dude, the blue shells hitting other people on the way there is like a
I know, it's crazy, dude. I don't know why that exists.
Finally, it was time for Race 4 on Rock Mountain, another visually stunning map that quickly became a favorite of ours.
Dude, this is a crazy map.
Oh, this is kind of cool. I like this map.
Yeah,
this is sick.
kind of reminds me of Wario's Gold Mine, but less AIDS.
The race started with me hitting Hudson with a little payback for how he's treated me this game.
You're a bitch, dude.
Suck my dick.
You're a f***ing bitch.
Lap 2 had the crowd focused, quiet, and close.
Everybody's so close.
I'm not right now.
If not already clear from the previous rants, Mario Kart 7 had me in a bad mood. When entering the cave for a 3rd time, Hudson should have known better than to tail me.
I'm not doing so great. Oh my god, Jeffrey, go f*** yourself.
Say it, dumbass.
Stop with the
During the final hang glide, Hudson was still salty from the cave cucks.
My hands are sweating. I don't even know why I'm playing terribly.
I'm gonna red shell your ass, bro. I hope you know that. I'm not letting you beat me. Okay, you, Jeffrey. How'd you get that, huh?
While climbing the steep final stretch, boulders weren't the only thing Rogue was dealing with.
I heard it.
The blue shell hit me on the way.
It's okay.
While I was up the hill going GOAT mode, Rogan was having the real Mario meltdown.
What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The finish came out to Tanner in 1st, me in a solid 2nd, 3rd was going to be Rogan until his past pal Metal Mario swept in for the steal, leaving Rogan with an angry 4th. While complaining about the last second pass, Tanner and I were confused.
Dude, I got past in the last second.
Who passed him? Did you pass him?
Yeah.
Tanner with the 1st, Justin with the 2nd.
Metal Mario pass.
Rogan, what'd you get?
All that was left was Hudson, who ended in a big old 5th. With all those races completed, DSs were shut down, cameras stopped recording, except for one.
Dude, that last one, Jeffrey's is on Bomb City. You gave me 3 bombs.
Now it's time to look at the scoreboard. Here are all the positions for Mario Kart 7. As you can see, pretty good for Tanner, pretty rough for Rogue, and even rougher for me. And Hudson, his scores were a super mixed bag. With Tanner and Hudson snagging some first, they both narrowed their point gaps, with Hudson only being 15 points away from Rogue, Tanner only 21 points away from Hudson, and me, I don't want to say my fate's sealed yet, but it isn't looking too hot for me, with me being 36 points behind Tanner. With it getting late in the night, instead of doing a post-game interview session for just this game, we decided to combine it with the next game instead. So here's the portions of those interviews relating to the hectic handheld title we just completed. The group was first asked to think back on their performances.
Not as good as I would have liked, but not terrible, I guess.
I did okay. I got 2 first places, I think. so. But then my other 2 races weren't as good.
I think I got a second once or twice, but I know I did pretty poor on one, maybe a 6 or 7, honestly.
Solid and better than I thought.
What were your places?
First, second, fourth.
What were your thoughts about Rogan's kind of slacking performance on the game?
Well, it was definitely needed. He was doing good today, so it was good to see him at the back of the pack.
What do you think of how each player did on that?
I think Tanner did better than I expected because I think he said he's never played. I think there was a couple firsts in there, so that was pretty surprising. He definitely needed that to fight for second. So.
Do you think that'll continue on for the next couple games?
Sadly, no, but he definitely did struggle, and the other players needed that. And I think it gave them the juice to think they're still in it, but they're really not.
Then questions were asked regarding thoughts on the game overall.
It was kind of cool. I don't think I liked it as much as the normal DS one, but you know, it was alright. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of generic.
Very frustrating. One of the weirdest feeling Mario Karts. I don't think I did well.
I thought it was just like a diet 8. I mean, I haven't seen much of either game, but they seem pretty similar.
I appreciated more screen real estate on the 3DSs. Made it easier to do my job, but some quality races. Kind of hard to see what was going on, just the angles aren't as good as when stuff's on the TV, but I was satisfied. Some surprising results maybe. I couldn't remember in what way, but maybe not how I saw it turning out.
Are you glad the handheld titles are over?
Yes, 100%. For sure.
The group was then asked their thoughts on how the game felt compared to the other titles.
Yeah, it felt pretty standard, I guess, like a normal Mario Kart game. Maybe a little bit, the drifts were like a little bit weirder because it's on like a DS.
Pretty good. I'd be down to play more. It's like a mix of DS and 8 kind of.
I just felt like I was going so slow. The acceleration was an all-time low. Like I said, weirdest physics, driving, handling in a game. One of them.
Thoughts on the controversial coin system were then shared.
Not crazy about it, but I guess it's in the game, so you gotta try to get some coins.
It's another one of those coin-based Mario Karts, and there's no coins. It's a coin-based game, but they're so spread out, there's no coins. I did not like the game, to be honest.
When asking about memorable moments on 7, only one event was mentioned.
Yeah, when you bombed me twice like an asshole. Yeah, in that cave. Yeah, that's one of the worst moments of this entire thing, I think.
Again, with these interviews occurring after the next game, even later in the night, I was tired and confused.
You hyped up Wii. Oh, we already talked about it.
Get the out of here, Brad.
With that leaves us one more game to finish for day 2, the final arcade title. Will it take as long as the others? Will the times again come down to the millisecond? And will the game actually be fun this time? Answers to those questions and more are coming up next. Right around midnight was when the group finally was ready to tackle game number 10. A game no one has played. A game no one was looking forward to. A game that refused to work on my TV, hence the monitor setup. But most notably, a game that again requires emulation, with it being the final arcade title. So once Trey grabbed another Smirnoff and squeezed in frame with the rest of us.
Okay, Trey, you want to sit right there? Just sit in front of Rogan.
You want me in?
Yes, Trey's gonna sit.
Some eye candy?
It was then time to suffer through another 20, maybe more, races. To answer the question, is Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe the best GP game? No. It's maybe the worst. Now the game is amazing looking, content packed, and overall really well made, but in the context of this championship, combined with our history on the previous GPs, combined with how late it was in the night, made it maybe the hardest to get through yet. Before I detail why, there is a lot of new and notable elements to go over, which I'll rapid fire. The game plays very similar to its predecessors, with it containing many of the previously seen GP mechanics, such as the annoying map repetition on cups that are again labeled by difficulty, leading us to again choose the easiest one for speed reasons. Back are the useless non-speed related coins, the weird items, which there are more of here, and they are somehow even weirder. Within them is sadly the return of clouds, but also basins, baby. Even gold ones this time, which we sadly never got to use because we chose the default loadout every race. Also know that this time we did not play at 150cc because it needed unlocked, so we went with 100 instead. For this GP game, we sadly sadly did not have our boy Justin on the announcing. Here there are game announcers, but we played the Japanese version, whose announcer we didn't understand, so we didn't pay that much attention to that aspect of the game. In terms of new stuff, there's a ton of modes, including a strange co-op tank one. There's of course new crazy looking karts, including the fire cake slice, but they all needed unlocked also, so we went with standard boys instead. When looking at the rather large character roster, there's only one brand new face, that being Don Chan from the Taiko no Tetsujin games, an awesome and uncanny addition that you can't help but pick as your new favorite. Worth mentioning are the other possible racers that can only be used via skin changes. Now, the number one greatest aspect of the game, again from our perspective, is the infamous first place required rule being no longer a thing. Here, a third place and up allows you to move on, which greatly sped things up. Tying in with that though is the game's worst aspect. Again, just from our perspective, the altered race times. Here, instead of an accurate timer starting from 0, we have a simple 250-second countdown, which in essence seems usable. When finishing, you'd like to see the highest number instead of the lowest, but it's problematic when some of these races come down to the millisecond. Pair that with the fact that the time shoots down to 15 seconds when the first racer crosses the finish line. Those together make our already difficult GP position method even more of an accuracy nightmare. Instead of the frame-by-frame iPhone video method Lukas used on the previous GP games, here he just eyeballed everything, which led to, as you could guess, incorrect times, which I later ironed out in post. That time element alone honestly kind of ruined the game, as you will see, but with all that said, we chose a new playing order and got going with racer number 1. Before the warm-up, Lukas educated Trey on the struggles of GP scorekeeping.
Bruh, I hope to f***ing God that this shit displays the time. I was doing stupid ass shit 16 times on my phone. I have to record it with my phone and then do frame-by-frame analysis. Bro, 16 times.
When selecting the warm-up, like we did for the other GP games, Tanner selected the exclusive Don Chan character and went with the round 1 course on the hilarious
Bowser Jr. Cup. Where he finally worked his way up to get his own cup.
With Trey still being new to the competition, and especially new to the weirdness of the arcade titles, he needed to ask this burning question.
Who the f*** is Don Chan? Is that a lore actor? Is that a lore actor? That's deep lore shit. I've never seen him in the list of Mario Kart. I looked up every Mario Kart before, and he's not on the list.
Lap 2 was when the group first witnessed the power of the GPDX Not So Mini Turbo. Over the course of the race, Lukas discovered the previously described timing method, which I had a solution for, but Lukas had another one of his classic ideas.
There's no time. Oh, wait, we're just doing the time of the clock with no intervals for. So, I could do a stopwatch.
I'll be doing the totals later on.
What if 2 people get 126?
Yeah. I'll be able to know exactly when I'm editing.
Yeah, we're giving up a full second of accuracy.
I'll do it. I'm gonna edit. I'll figure it out.
Listen, I could do a stopwatch.
Like I said, we went with the easy Toad Cup for the Grand Prix. While selecting his character, Tanner again tried to disobey rule number 8.
Oh, baby peach, Loki.
No, Brian, you're not peach.
While Tanner was making his way through the beautiful round 1 course, I couldn't stop thinking about Trey's earlier comments.
Who the f*** is Don
Lap 2 had the group discussing scores and scorekeeping.
I'll try to mark it as like barely 182 or whatever.
Yeah, maybe leave a little something. That could be some hot debates.
I was gonna say, what the f***?
I'm not worried about it. I'll figure it out in the edit. I'm not over 200 yet.
You definitely are.
Oh, I know I am, but...
So you just like fell behind for a second?
Tanner then finished with a 143-second first place.
Dude, going first is not a vibe.
After the race was when we were first introduced to DX's crazy amount of pop-ups.
Just spam for this.
Oh, dude. Oh, wait, we have to do all this. Like, oh my god.
Careful. Whoa! Holy shit.
You told me spam through it, did you not?
Yeah, but not to that part.
Oh, like I knew.
Yeah. You didn't read that in his tone of voice to only do it to a certain point?
Oh my god, the amount of screens, dude. Can I get to
What is that?
Bro, you gotta use your Banana Pass. Right? Get it out.
Banana pass? No.
Race 2 was when we realized this game also has the different but same map quality seen in the other games. The good thing though is each race in the cup is only 2 laps. Anyway, during lap 1, I was happy to see my favorite Koopa King.
That's my boy. Let him win.
Later on, we started realizing the reason behind the game's over-the-top look.
You can tell they designed these games to be like casino-like. Like it's just constant stimulation.
Shortly after, Tanner was hit with his first item, and it had us reminiscing on old ones.
Dude, where's the basin?
True.
There's the square wheels.
True.
That was such a buddy hop. The buddy hop.
I'm glad that we probably played GP 1 and 2 for the first and last time ever.
Yeah.
Then, after Tanner pulled off 2 full boosts, we were glad to see an old familiar face.
They brought back that item. Let's go. Except, yeah, there's no peach face on this.
The race finished with Tanner taking 101 seconds second place after my king, who pulled through with the win.
Whoa, man! Bowser's gonna you! I don't know if you can pass though. We'll see. Oh, you can. On this one, you can go down to third, I think.
You can go
down to 2. 2.
Lukas then tried to inform us on how the game compared to the previous time-sinking arcade titles, but lost us with the nerd math.
So yeah, that one took 40 seconds long. But these races are quicker. Yeah, for sure. Because 250 seconds, and you took 149 seconds on that one, which is 2.5 minutes, which is about on par with the last one. The other one was 143, which is on the low end of the other ones.
Spitting bars.
Race 3 was when we started spotting our favorite items.
Oh, I just saw the basin.
Yeah, the basin's back. The bonker. Brad, yeah, all the classics are back.
Basins, square wheels. We need that creepy face guy.
Hopefully it has the same animation.
The race concluded this time with Tanner taking the win over Bowser with 144 second first place. With the times already super close, the group was nervous.
That's like a weird thing this game, these GP games do.
Yeah.
Like 2 maps with that
Literally.
portal in
I don't know
between.
why we didn't just stopwatch.
On Tanner's last race, I tried to lift the mood.
Let's just be happy this is the last GP. Do you think we'll ever casually set this back up and do this again?
Hell no.
We watch all 7 people play.
Play this game every time.
True.
Trey then commented again on the game's crazy visuals. Farther through the lap, Tanner got hit with a new weird item, the mini mushroom. Lap 2 had us discussing Rogan's classic slime tactics.
That's a rogue move right there. Trail stuff. No, the rogue move is hold the item behind you. So
Yeah, Rogue was on some different shit. Yes.
he does it every time.
He's good at it, but like, I hate that shit. That messes me off more than anything.
Again, with Trey being a little behind on what's already occurred in the competition, I had to let him know about the legendary GP2 announcer.
You missed it. There's an announcer the last game who announced every minute thing that happened.
And he would say his name at the beginning of the race.
This broadcast is brought to you by Justin Berti.
Shortly after was when Tanner got hit with the craziest GP item yet, the magical ball.
Oh! Yo!
I'm hauling ass though.
Dude, this is sick!
The race then ended with Tanner behind Rosalina for a roughly 100-second first place. That was then followed by another boring-ass Lukas explanation that cleared the room.
When you do the second lap though, it changed to 15 right after he did it, right after he went through, and it was weird. I'm confident that that's the correct number. All the games do that. When they're changing the numbers, it messes with it. I scored it consistently for everybody, so I mean, it's not a competitive concern, but...
With these scores recorded, it's time to switch players. For my warm-up, I went with the round 1 course on the Don-Chan Cup, using Bowser because there were no more exclusive characters left. While warming up, I was hitting boosts, using weird items, then both at the same time.
Watch that. Is that good or bad?
Right before entering lap 5, I had to let Donkey Kong know that there was only room for one heavy on this track. I then boosted one more time to pass Luigi for the first. Afterwards, the group was again nervous about the potentially close times.
We're about to see the same numbers.
Or just depending on like
the cart,
While skipping through the strange pop-ups, I found myself unable to go back and select the Toad Cup.
How? I don't know your last name.
You tell us, man.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said keep going. Yes, I said no.
I said no.
You did?
Yeah.
Maybe you, maybe not. Maybe that's what.
Bro, me, huh?
Jeff, what do we say about spamming through the menu?
While waiting for the game to restart, the fatigue set in. With how uninterested we were with the title, several off-topic conversations were had, starting with...
Juicy J tweeted Playboy Cardi mood all 2022.
His old house. How old is he? Like 50?
Pretty old.
I'm gonna lock in 48.
I'm thinking 43.
I'm gonna
I'll go
say
46.
45.
46.
Damn. Tanner, you said like 50 first, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
I think 46 constitutes as a like 50.
I'd say 48 to 50 counts as like 50. So like, if I'm 10 and I'm like 10, that counts as being 6.
No, it's different when you're younger. The way your body and brain develops from 0 to 10 is different than 40 to 50.
Damn, that's crazy. What are we talking about brain development for?
Right before I started the GP, I still thought I was in the right with the menu mishap, leading me to throw this potential time-saving theory out to the group.
Is the move do the warm-up on the first one so we don't have to relaunch the game next time? Do it and then replay the first.
No, I don't think that's fair to Tanner though, since he didn't do the warm-up.
It's up to you. I don't think
Whose idea was it to play this game?
Race 1 started with the group loving Bowser's grunt.
You're putting to work.
Louder.
Even though it was no problem for me during the warm-up, I was having a hard time drifting.
You gotta hit
Look at a sub one.
You gotta hit the guy.
What are you doing?
The second and final lap then ended with me again reminding Donkey Kong, don't even try it. And then snagging 142-second first place, which was right underneath Tanner. This close score, of course, had the group vocal.
142. We have avoided prices for now.
I'm below 10, right?
Yes.
143?
Yes.
Wow.
Is at 143.
That was 1 second. Oh my god.
This is gonna be so.
Yeah, I hope everyone else gets 143. I hope everyone else forgets to hit the gas.
I hope
Middle of the race.
we can get on to Mario Kart 8 soon.
While on the topic, the group had more thoughts on the upcoming title.
Mario Kart 8 is the most RNG Mario game.
Oh, it is.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It feels so out of your hands with the items.
The CPUs just casually drive by.
When just trying to get to the next race, the annoying pop-ups had the group pissed, so I again brought up my misinformed potential solution.
Bro, the cutscenes, my god.
You have to click through like 18 different screens before you.
That's what I'm saying, like, you're gonna have to sit through all that if we choose another cup. That's up to you, but you saw how long it takes to launch the game.
Dude, I did it the right way.
It wouldn't be fair though to Tanner.
Whatever, if Tanner's upset with it, fine.
You don't have to be screwing yourself.
Oh, I'm saying I don't care for me either.
Look, we know you're gonna lose, but I'm still in this.
Got him!
Race 2 had me again shanking drifts.
Yeah, same. Forgetting my buttons to press.
Love taking your foot off the gas.
Lap 2 again had Donkey Kong on my ass.
You're on.
Really, Donk?
Then, after drift shank number 3 occurred, Trey had had enough.
This is Rogan move right here.
But Jeff, we just did the move where you really hit the gas.
I don't know, the drift skills are just absolutely gone.
Jeffrey, you've let off the gas 3 times now.
Fast forward to the end where drift shank number 4 occurred and caused this to happen.
Dude, press the gas!
Oh, I might not be able to pass. Fourth place, listen, I gotta do that again!
Well, what the f are you doing? Why are you telling us? We know.
Well, I'm telling you, bro, like, my brain forgot how to drift.
And hit the gas 4 times.
The drift's weird, bro.
You gotta let off the gas, bro.
I don't know how to put down that number. I don't.
14. That's what he got. What do you mean? What else did you do?
Because it went from 95 or 93 down to 14 because I'm assuming some kind of mechanic trigger that when the first racer went through, it starts counting down from 15. So the real time is probably somewhere in the low 90s.
Dude, we should have done the stopwatch.
So in every GP we played,
Sorry,
Jeffrey has not.
I've never flawlessly got through a GP.
My brain was not ready for that curveball.
The Race 2 redo had the group again discussing something way unrelated to the game.
I a cup of water. Sick.
What do you think it means?
Did I get that right?
Super wet.
I don't know. It really gets you thinking. I just a cup of water like. Profound.
Then, after hitting the mystery box, I was expecting a goofy item, but was instead given a mushroom out of seemingly nowhere.
What the hell? How'd you get a mushroom?
Bruh! Actual shitty items.
Lap 2 then started with Drift Shank number 5.
Jeff? What's the disconnect, bro?
So angry.
Because there's a real world impact in our time when you f up.
You need to be rooting for me, not against me.
I was happy for his foot on the gas.
Trey, we're running an arcade game through an Xbox controller. It's not that easy to drift.
Did Tanner ever have that issue though?
Don't make up excuses because you're doing that.
I too have experienced a course that makes me stop the flying gas. Yeah.
Once he calmed down, Trey made an interesting point.
Wait, look at the texture of Bowser's. It looks like macaroni and cheese.
He's actually more accurate made out of cheese. It's a variation of deviled eggs on his back. He's actually just a fruit platter.
I've never had deviled eggs.
Me either. I don't see it.
I then finished the lap with the needed second, right behind Rosalina. Race 3 started with the group discussing the map repetition.
They're all like the same, right?
No, this one hits different.
Yeah, what part?
This part, the start, different ones.
Went into the race a bit, Trey tried his hand at giving nicknames.
Okay, I'm gonna start calling you Shank Jr. Seriously? I'm gonna call you Shank Williams Jr.
Shortly after, I bet you can guess what happened.
Dude, I gotta learn
Like,
the drift.
what is the strategy?
Are you trying to lose? Like, I don't.
Bitch, you'll probably do it too. It's weird.
I didn't see that happen to Tanner once though.
Sorry, bruh. I don't know what to tell you.
Jeff!
Trey, how about you get off my ass?
We legit need to lay off the gas counter. It's at like 7 right now.
The race then carried on with a new weird item, an impressive green shell snipe, and a clean 138-second finish.
138, late 38. It was a very late 38.
After the race, all I wanted to do was explain why I was struggling with the drifts.
The drift is.
The corners are just.
I don't want to hear your bullshit.
Trey's not around.
It's like,
Since he's
how
came
many
over,
times
have
do
you?
you up?
Race 4 started with the group pleased I was on my final round.
We're almost halfway done with this GP. Last one.
I would rather be in the human centipede.
That extreme comment then segued into, again, another off-topic convo.
I watched the third one. I hated it so much. Dude, that was so
Yeah, he is a vagina.
No.
Romer's the prison one.
That castrate.
The second one's hard to watch, bro.
They're all.
Then, when going over the bridge, I too was hit with one of those magical balls.
Bro, you got put in the Bowser ball.
The race then concluded with me snagging a 98-second second, again right behind Rosalina.
What was Tanner's?
100.
My ass.
That was not bad.
Yeah, that was. This whole tournament's just gone to shit for me.
When comparing my scores to Tanner, not one race did I beat him. Not a single one. Time to move on. With Hudson now on the sticks, he wasted no time getting into his warm-up race, which took place again on Bowser Jr. Cup's Round 1 course. The race mostly consisted of us again passing the time with an unrelated debate.
Our guy's got a 4.4 on Letterboxd. I don't know if I'm putting it there.
Bro.
Wait, what did you give Joker?
When I first watched it, like a 4.5. Like right now, I'd probably give like a 3 or 3.5.
I'd probably give it a 0
in the bump.
That would be with Snore Central.
I'll have to watch it again.
Snorefest. I wouldn't even call it Joker.
Because you accept Heath Ledger's Joker as like the only truth.
Well, what makes Joaquin's a Joker?
The last 15 minutes of the movie?
I think it's a clown.
The race overall wasn't too notable besides us first noticing that the creepy masks, which we were hoping would show up, do somewhat exist in the game, and then the end where we again argued on whether I did or didn't click continue on the menu.
If I just hit like do not continue or whatever.
Yes, you can, Jeff.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Like just hit. Don't.
I did that last time and it brought me back to the same cup.
While waiting for the game to slowly relaunch, the group started off-topic conversation number 5.
Jeff, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
I don't want to say it, man.
About a
Say it.
I don't.
If it's any 7, 8, or 9.
Say it.
I don't know.
I don't love everything about it. There's a lot of shit about it, but I just don't go back to the older Star Wars that much. I like them all.
Felix is such a tough crowd to talk to.
Hudson then got started on race 1, which again wasn't too notable because we were still just debating Star Wars.
The build up for Snow for it to just
Bro! People are saying he might have been Darth Plagueis and then they just
or Mace Windu.
I never got the Mace Windu shit. People said that he was Mace Windu.
Hudson finished the race with 138 seconds, second place behind Pac-Man.
If there was a way for me to process that story, what he was trying to do, without it having to fit in everything else, maybe I would have liked it. But
There's some cool ideas.
138.
Is that good?
That is the worst time so far.
Race 2 had the group arguing, again mostly about Star Wars.
There's too many jokes in those too. Like, bro, the whole part with Luke on the island drinking the green milk, it's like, okay, stop with the f***ing memes.
But Hudson did surprisingly agree with me on this take.
Don't you find it hard to drift?
Yeah, it's weird.
Hudson's don't validate his insecurities.
No, Jeffrey was right about that one.
The race then finished with Hudson snagging another second, this time behind Rosalina, this time in 96 seconds.
Yoshi had a bad top speed too.
Race 3 was again nothing special besides a few decent green shell snipes and, you guessed it, the group not discussing anything Mario Kart related.
Dude, you gotta
No,
get
this is
over
the
the
third.
No one watches them loving the Hobbits. Like, they're supposed to be goofy.
I hate the Hobbits.
Why?
They're whiny. It's just like the whole part of the third where he's up the mountain. God, it's hard to watch. Gollum's dumbass and he's not siding with Sam. I get that's the ring talking. He's like, where's my bread, Sam? Where's my bread? Where's my elven bread?
Hudson then finished the race in 141 seconds, again behind Rosalina in second. With it now being 1 a.m., the thought of 2 more games to complete that night was just too much for how tired we were. At that point, we decided, instead of day 3 just consisting of home circuit, Mario Kart Tour will also be moved to that date as well. All that was left was race 4, which had Trey again making his dislike for the game clear.
I'd rather be in a comment.
Stop, bro. Strong words.
When nearing the end of lap 1, I was still laughing about
Who the fuck is dodging?
After a crazy mid-air green shell snipe from Hudson, the group started up random combo number 6.
When you're done shitting, like, my ass was on fire and I had to, like, carefully walk for a little bit. Like, dude, shit was disgusting to go through.
The race concluded with Hudson taking his 4th second, this time behind Metal Mario, clocking in a time of 96 seconds.
Last place on that.
Let's go, bro!
I like how I found that drift thing randy.
When comparing his scores to Tanner's and mine, as you can see, with Hudson and I not logging the greatest times, Tanner kept all his firsts, with Hudson and I each having 2 seconds and 2/3, just up to this point of course. Now it's time for the final racer. For the warm-up race, Rogan actually selected a new course, unlike Hudson.
4.4 on Letterboxd.
That's what I did.
Did you choose the new cup?
Yeah.
Well, not exactly with it being on the Bowser Cup, a series of races we have history on, but for the most part, it's a new map. Before Rogan got going, Trey had enough of DX.
Yeah, dude.
At this point, that's just a warm-up.
No, Trey, that's not how this works, bro. We're like 8 games deep in the format right now.
While racing through the very similar feeling layout, we all agreed this has to be the most visually appealing Mario Kart game, period. The rest of the race consisted of more weird items and some admittedly pretty clean driving. After the race, while waiting for the game to relaunch, Trey's Smirnoff started kicking in.
I hate that word. That Bednap passport. It just sounds so stupid.
Yeah.
Bro, did you? Oh.
They did it so wrong.
Again, while waiting the 10 years it takes for the game to load, Julian snapped.
I cannot believe we have 2 more interview sessions.
Oh my god.
That sucks, but we gotta suck it up.
You guys are lucky. You guys go in there for, except Rogan.
Rogue helps a bit, yeah.
I'm in there the whole time. Jeff's in there the whole time. It's like
It's
800 degrees in there.
hot seat, hot room.
We could do the interviews outside right now.
That audio would be great.
Almost as good as
Yeah, buy a big
Yeah, true.
At that point was when we decided we're too tired for even 8 after this. We decided that 2 needs to be added to day 3, making this game the last for day 2. Race 1 had Rogan right away, pulling off never before seen moves.
That was on some YouTube shots right there. Grasshopper.
Then, if we didn't experience enough weird items already, Rogue got nailed with a paper mushroom. Yeah, they really thought of everything here. Even though he previously agreed with me, Hudson out of nowhere brought the drift shanks back up.
You think you call it to release the gas?
No, not like Jeffrey was. Jeffrey was like straight up taking like his finger off the button.
You should talk me out here. I should talk you in the bathroom.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care, dude.
Wait till you guys hear what the other people have to say about you. You think I'm the only one talking shit?
I don't care, dude.
There's gonna be tears. That's gonna be emotional.
Rogue then finished up with a 144-second first place.
Somehow, with that, we did not reach a conflict in the first race. That's first place.
Oh, damn.
Yes. I'm like thinking racing lines in this game because that's all the advantage you have is like the line you take and praying that the RNG goes your way.
When compared to the other race 1 times, which were all very close, Rogan snagged the first, with Tanner in second and Hudson and I third and fourth. Before the next race, thoughts were shared on the game.
You like it a little bit.
It looks fine, but watching them play the same
Yeah, it sucks ass.
Actually, I kind of like this game in a weird way. I kind of like
Well, the first GP took 2 or 3 times longer than either of these.
The first one is pure hell. So the last one, which was a critical error.
Race 2 had the group dead.
Is Tanner not going?
I've had a great teacher.
The rest of the race wasn't too notable, with Rogue finishing it up with 103 seconds, second place behind my boy.
Another first place. Rogan cementing something right now.
Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen.
Told you, I've been rooting for Rogue, so.
You had what? Not.
I have, bro. The interviews.
Again, when compared to the others, was another first place, with Tanner again second, this time with Hudson third and me fourth. Afterwards, more thoughts were shared.
Scuffed that time system too. It's honestly a miracle that we've got 4 different numbers in the first 2 races so far.
We are so AIDS from this experience.
We've gotten damage.
Doing something like this definitely ruins it for you instead of playing it every once in a while.
I like this.
Race 3 began, and right away, the game decided to make up for the lack of basin blocks. Similar to GP1, because of Rogue's impressive driving, the group started rooting against him.
We're just barely on pace for first if you guys just think.
Slow the down. We get it. You got a lot of first. Bro, you could let me get a couple first just for some good content. I'll swap the names around. I played Luigi, right? There's no gamer tags associated with it. I guess I use Rogue on DS, but...
So were you on the 3DS.
Wait, I was Rogue on the 3DS?
Yeah, there was 2 Rogue smiley faces.
I can't follow it. The Rogue canon's crazy.
The race wrapped up with Rogan snagging 143 seconds, second place, behind his ex-bestie, Metal Mario.
Second place. Tanner's first.
Those basins came in clutch.
Yeah, for real.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Double base.
When put on the board, as you can see, Rogan this time grabbed second, with Tanner in first, Hudson in third, and me again in fourth. Thankfully, it was time for the final GP race because the group's energy was non-existent.
These ones are so draining. They're so draining. They just take so long.
It's 1:30.
No f***ing way. We've been doing this for 2 hours? Jesus.
It feels like we've been doing
The last one was...
Race 4 had Rogan driving clean and unencumbered, which Hudson realized at the start of lap 2.
Are you not gonna get by any items either, dude? What's going on here?
That statement then cursed Rogue because he then got hit with not only a mini mushroom, but another one of those magical balls.
Hey, let's go. Super monkey ball.
Yo, Loki hitting that line though.
Even though the end was in sight, the group was struggling.
This game's vibrance is starting to
I've been here for 7.5 hours. Well, we've been doing this actively for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I was got a full shift clock.
Rogue then finished the race behind his prior plumber pal with a 99-second time, which was extremely close to Tanner's, but just a little slower.
To everybody, you hands to get different numbers.
Compared to the others, Tanner walked away with another first, with me in third this time and Hudson in a big old fourth.
Can I get fourth on like all of those?
Bro, that was no, you got 4-3-3-4. Jeffrey got 3-4-4-3.
Yeah, you had the same thing as me, bro.
Now it's time to look at the scoreboard. Here are all the positions combined for Mario Kart Arcade GP Deluxe. As you can see, very solid for Rogan and Tanner, with them snagging only firsts and seconds. For Hudson and I, it was quite the opposite, with us grabbing only thirds and fourths. When looking at the end of the day totals, Rogan still remains in a firm lead, with Hudson in second, but just barely above Tanner, who's only a measly 3 points behind him in third. For me, well, at least I can say I tried my best. Once those exhausting series of races were over, Trey had to head out, but the others, they still had an obligation to open up, speak their mind, and fill me in with the newest gossip in the final day 2. The group started off with sharing their not so positive thoughts on the game.
Agonizing. I placed well, but bruh, sitting through it, horrible.
Ass, awful, bad, not enjoyable. They're all bad. I don't know, like... It's like comparing like 2 different kinds of animal shit or something. They're both bad, they smell bad, they probably taste bad, I don't know. They're awful, okay? Look, it's not worth playing any of them. I don't know what the f that was. What the f I was talking about? I'm tired, dude. I like it. What the f kind of an analogy was that?
It was fun to watch, but when you have to go player by player by player, and that takes 2 hours, it was not fun after an hour.
They don't leave the numbers on the screen long enough, and they change the way that they count down the time, apparently. So figuring that out was a bit of a leap. I think it was kind of draining for everybody, even just to watch. And I think that it was like probably the least exciting. Not being like multiplayer in the way that we usually think about it, kind of took away from the experience.
Though obviously not loved, the title did have a few favorable qualities.
Definitely the lack of a narrator. Did not miss his ass. The drifts felt better. I like the 3-tier turbo you can get.
There were none. The water basin. The square wheels are funny.
I thought it was a lot easier to look at. It's like a sensory overload. Like they were definitely going for a arcade gambling type vibe. Like it's just everything going on at once.
People are giving it a lot of crap, but it looks good. I think the items are hilarious. The ball mode on DX was so weird, and I think there's just a lot of attention to detail on the maps. They look really good for being an arcade game.
I liked it. I thought it wasn't the most fun thing ever, but I mean, it definitely felt better than the other 2, that's for sure. It was better to look at, I guess. The colors were nice and the maps are cool.
We also couldn't go without mentioning our boy.
I like the weird character Don Champ. I think he's funny. Was he a threat?
Oh, definitely. Big threat.
Did Don Champ prove to be a threat during the game?
No, not too much, but I always saw his face back there. It just kind of warmed my heart. Kept me going throughout it.
Again, the topic of Rogan and Lukas being shady, especially with each other, was again brought up.
What do you think the secret is behind Rogue's sudden success?
I have no idea. There has to be some collusion.
Drug use? Question mark?
It could be. I mean, like I said, he opened up his home, and we saw him and Lukas sharing money. So, and Lukas has been shady. He's been real quiet.
Exchanges of money given in place of high rankings on races. What are your thoughts?
Prove it. Where's the proof?
How do you address these accusations?
If the allegation is that I was taking money all day, considering that he completely dominated the entire day, then yes. But of course not. Absolutely false.
Are you willing to show your Venmo?
Yeah, I'll produce the credits. I'll print them out. No, I won't print them out because then I could fudge them, but I'll show.
The silence has continued out there.
Just focusing on winning.
You use your iPhone and record a video to capture a split-second time.
Yes.
Several of these videos have never surfaced. Are we supposed to take you at your word for the numbers?
They're all in my deleted videos folder. I just don't want him to take a space on my phone.
Why?
I typed to Jeff for 2 of the videos.
To delete them.
Why have you tried to delete them?
It's a lot of space on my phone.
All you had to do was keep track of the numbers. Why are you being so suspicious? Why are you deleting files?
I just feel like I feel like it's a bit of a low
Why are you
question.
receiving money?
I'm not.
Why are you cheating?
The allegation is not that I'm the one cheating. It's that I'm helping players cheat, which is not happening.
Lucas seems to be getting frustrated over keeping score, especially in the arcade games. What do you think that's all about?
I don't really know. I'm a little suspicious. He's getting pretty liberal out there with, the numbers, and just wondering if he's got everything down the right way.
He's threatened walkouts, but all he has to do is keep score. Do you think he's not made for this tournament?
I don't know. All I'm saying, after we're done, we might have to recount the vote.
With us at the end of day 2, the group was asked their predictions on where they stand, with the official numbers being at the time unknown.
Yeah, I'm probably second or third right now. I think Rogue is definitely in the lead. I knew earlier today, looking at the list, like the lineup, I was like, yeah, he's gonna get first in a bunch of these. But I don't know, I'm probably second or third. I don't know. I did better in Wii than I thought, so.
Did you perform how you wanted?
No, I think the Wii performance is gonna haunt me, but I'm happy with what I did in the other games, so I think it might make up for it. I think it's gonna be a close toss-up between second and third. Rogue definitely cemented as first place. Gonna need to go majorly on day 3.
How many points would you say you are down from first place currently? If you had to guess.
Gotta be quite a bit. Rogan is most likely first, and Hudson's probably relatively close second. I think I gotta be at least 50 to 75 points below the first place, honestly.
Now, even though my estimate wasn't quite high enough, Rogan, the math wizard, dropped this, at the time convincing fake news on me.
Would you believe me if I told you it was 110?
Are those official numbers?
They are official numbers.
That's a hard one to take. If it's real, that's how it goes, but that's some harsh numbers here. Those hit hard.
Then, thoughts were just shared on the day overall.
We had a lot of hype behind it, so that seeing that one was good. I think that one probably brought up the best and worst in people. Maybe the best in terms of gameplay and worst in terms of shit talking, but it was really entertaining. DS was another good one. I didn't like man the cameras, but I think the main line titles like DS, Wii, and Double Dash or something have given the best moments for me personally.
What were the highlights and what were the lowlights then?
Definitely low light was Tanner choking in Mario Kart Wii, because I got money on him. He's been talking this whole time about how it's going to be him or Rogan, and we didn't see it, so.
Would you say you're disappointed in a father kind of sense?
Right, exactly. Took it out of my mouth.
Tanner's score today? What are your thoughts?
Better than yours.
At this point in the tournament, I've taken so many L's, it's unrecoverable. Mentally, pretty drained, pretty down in the dumps on the leaderboards. I got my theories who I think's gonna win, got my theories who I think's gonna lose. Who performed the worst today?
Does that even need to be asked? Like, the same person that performs the worst every day?
Was that a stutter?
I don't stutter. I never have, never will. But to answer your question, Jeffrey, it did the worst.
Hudson seemed to be a major threat day 1, and today no one's even speaking his name. Why do you think?
I don't know. We didn't really get to 8, and that's kind of one of Hudson's strong suits. So he just doesn't have as much experience playing these other games.
After Hudson's winning streak ended, some have said they saw tears in his eyes during games.
He has been more quiet. I mean, we've all noticed it, so.
Do you think since 64 is over, does he have any place in this tournament, or was he even worth including?
I mean, I've never seen the dude play 8. Everybody's talking about how he's good at 8, so I mean, I'd like to see it. So I guess once that game's over, it's just going to be back-to-back L's from what we've been seeing, and he's been choking, so I don't think he's going to finish that strong.
While on the topic, the group was then asked about the remaining 3 titles.
Like I said previously, Mario Kart 8 is a tough one for me. Tour, almost no experience in it. I think I have by far the most experience in Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, so I'm very confident with that one. But man, that is honestly a toss-up. Anyone could get that. And I don't know what kind of courses we're going to be designing. I guess I'm looking forward to day 3. I think I could win any of those.
I honestly have no idea for the mobile one or home circuit. I'll probably do okay in 8, I think, but other than that, I really have no idea. We'll see.
I played Mario Kart 8 a lot, and I like it. Hoping for first or seconds. Mario Kart Tour, honestly a toss-up. Pretty much just luck. It's just very dumbed down. If you get lucky, you'll get first place.
There's rumors of you practicing Mario Kart Tour with another tournament member, Hudson, for several hours.
We had to do it to unlock the multiplayer. It's what you told us to do.
How do you feel about the no practice rule? It seems like you violated it several times with several games.
I mean, I heard you were playing DS with Kev. What do you have to say about that?
I'll edit it out. Should we with his RC car on the final game to make him lose?
Yeah, I've already got some modifications planned.
Some spike traps at your place and some thumbtacks around or some shit.
A little piss in the gas tank.
Finally, everyone was then asked to share their thoughts on the championship so far and about their feelings going into the final day.
Honestly, kind of down in the dumps. This tournament's not really been going my way. A lot of shanks. I gotta work on all the recording and the interviews, so you know.
Final scores. What I hope is Rogan, Tanner, Hudson, Jeffrey. But what I think is going to happen is Rogan, Hudson, Tanner, Jeffrey. Which would be a little disappointing, but I mean, it makes sense.
If you could send a message to the haters out there, the Hudson Brown haters, what would you say? Speak to the camera.
I don't have anything to say because I don't have any haters.
Will you be more vocal out on the field on day 3
Most
and
likely.
quit this silent shit?
Most likely not. Most likely not.
What do you have to hide?
I'm trying to win.
Really cool to be able to play like all the games that are in the series and a bunch of ones that I haven't played ever before, but it is exhausting.
While just looking for wholesome responses, my name kept getting dragged in the dirt.
I think that what makes Jeffrey perform poorly is that he shit talks the entire time. He becomes the most toxic person possible, and then he just ends up choking pretty much every single race. So
When it comes to Jeffrey, he gets what he deserves.
Keep practicing, because there's a lot of excuses you can try to pull, but you can't take away from the fact that some people aren't as good at Mario Kart as other people.
I then had enough. I needed to rant.
In order to win on day 3, I'm obviously gonna have to pay off some people. That seems to be the strategy of a couple players. Maybe suck some off. That's strategies of other players as well. Maybe some game code tweaking. Maybe some modded controllers. Maybe some purposeful drift on other controllers I'll give to other players. Maybe hours of practice behind the scenes, similar to other players again. They've cheated, they've distracted, they've sabotaged, they've gone weird strategies, they've taken advantage of different controller schemes. I'm just saying, some really questionable tactics out there, day 1 and 2, which has led to my 4th place. If I can get all first places on the last ones, I will not get last place, I can guarantee that. I'm gonna use what's worked for all the other players, apply it to me, a clean player, and maybe see if I can actually survive in this world of slime.
That about does it for part 2 of the first ever 13-game Mario Kart Championship, where we have now officially completed 10 Mario Kart titles. Make sure to catch the final part 3, where there are only 3 games left to play, 8, Tour, and Home Circuit, which might sound quick and easy to crank out, but oh boy, all I gotta say is things don't go according to plan. When looking at the current scores, even though Rogan's lead is rather substantial, technically it's still anyone's game. Well, probably not for me, but the others whose scores are neck and neck, it's definitely possible. Part 3 is where you will witness the conclusion of everyone's arcs. Tanner's, Hudson's, Rogan's, Lukas's, Julian's, Trey's, and mine. Expect more secrets, more strats, more side deals, and a hell of a lot more slime. But most importantly, tune in to discover who will receive the solid gold Mario Kart trophy and be crowned the definitive Mario Kart champion.